My girlfriend knows that only this medicine can cure the poison in her body, yet she willingly gave the life-saving medicine to that scheming woman for my sake. She only asked that I accompany her in her final days. When I was reincarnated and faced this choice again, I took the life-saving medicine without hesitation. Yun Mengyao looked sadly at the surveillance footage on her phone. She felt an emptiness in her heart. She knew it was a dream. I didn't expect the dream to be so short. It turned out that man took a big roundabout path. Still for that piece of medicine. But Lu Yan had said it was a gift for himself. Now he still went to get it in an indirect way. Am I really so untrustworthy? Clearly, I already knew he would do this. But why does my chest still hurt so much? At the moment I took out the medicine, Yun Mengyao immediately turned off the surveillance. She curled up, hugging her knees, covered her own eyes. The assistant, Jiang Ting, weakly asked, "Miss, should I go and bring the person back?" Yun Mengyao said with a tone of voice. "No need. Have everyone evacuate. Let him go." Jiang Ting sighed. "I can only follow the rules." After getting the herbs, I headed straight to the kitchen. Still doesn't know what happened upstairs. Just felt the inexplicably quiet atmosphere in the first floor hall. An hour had passed since I prepared the medicine. As I was carrying the medicine upstairs, I coincidentally ran into Jiang Ting coming down the stairs. Jiang Ting looked a bit stunned upon seeing me. "Why haven't you left yet?" I frowned in confusion. "Go and make it clear. Didn't I stay here overnight?" Jiang Ting's brows furrowed slightly. Her gaze fell to the bowl I was holding. She couldn't help but ask, "What is this?" I looked at the person standing right in front of me. "The medicine decocted for your young lady. Make way. The medicine will lose its effectiveness if it cools down." Jiang Ting looked at me in shock. "For my lady? Does my lady have an illness?" I paused my steps. So even her trusted aides don't know that Yun Mengyao is poisoned? Thinking of this, I cast a sympathetic glance at Jiang Ting. "It's none of your business. Go back to sleep." Jiang Ting's heart suffered 1,000 points of damage. About my lady's matters. How is it that it has nothing to do with me? I didn't continue to pay attention to this woman. I bypassed her and walked straight to Yun Menyao's door. I raised my hand and knocked on the door. At this moment, Yun Mengyao was curled up in the corner, hugging her knees, allowing herself to be engulfed by the darkness of a nation. Hearing the knock on the door, she pressed the intercom a bit irritably. "No one is allowed to disturb me." Listening to the voice coming from the communicator on Jiang Ting's shoulder, I couldn't help but freeze for a moment. How could he? Jiang Ting opened her mouth. She didn't know what to say. "Does my lady really think you took the medicine and ran away?" So she locked herself away alone. She couldn't explain this matter. Simply left it for us to solve on our own. While thinking it over like this, she forcefully hit her thigh. "Miss, Mr. Lu has arrived." In less than 3 seconds, a door opened with a click. Yun Mengyao stared blankly at me outside the door. "How come you again?" The sunlight caught sight of what I was holding in my hand. "What is this?" I looked at her helplessly. "Let me in first, then I'll explain. If we delay any longer, the medicine will really get cold." Yun Mengli turned to let me in. As I walked towards the table by the bed, I said, "I originally wanted to tell you first, but you didn't respond when I knocked. I thought you were asleep, so I went ahead and brewed that medicinal herb without prior notice." After saying that, I picked up the medicine bowl and walked over to her. "Drink the medicine." Yun Mengyao did not accept it. She still fixated on me. For me. I looked confused. Otherwise, it could be. Yun Mengyao felt like she had been on a roller coaster. The mindset that had just plummeted to the bottom gradually began to warm up. However, she soon realized a problem. "How did you know I needed this medicine?" "Lu Yan can make medicine for himself. He must know he is poisoned. But he hasn't even told Jiang Ting." "How did he know?" I lied without blushing or skipping a heartbeat. "Don't you know I'm a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner? When I held your wrist today, I diagnosed it. Quickly drink the medicine. If it cools, it won't be effective." Yun Mengyao still did not accept it. Thinking about my abnormality tonight, I felt like I was getting a hint. Is it because of this matter? Suddenly, she changed her attitude towards me. This subtly pointed out the truth. Yet it instantly brought her recently warmed feelings crashing down. So it turns out she was afraid of owing a favor, which is why she used the medicine on herself. I looked puzzled. "What?" Yun Mengyao said dejectedly. "Is it that if I drink this bowl of medicine, I can be free of psychological burdens?" "You can have no psychological burden." Completely cut ties with me. I was full of questions. I didn't expect that the lie I casually mentioned could lead her to overthink so much. For a moment, I felt both angry and amused. If I wanted to cut ties with you, I could just serve you the medicine. Why would I need to promise to be with you? Cloudy journey. Do you not trust me? Or are you just not confident in yourself? Yun Mengyao let out a bitter laugh. "Lu Yan, you are the only one in this world who makes me feel insecure." She has always been a proud daughter of heaven, from childhood to adulthood. But here I stumbled. She might even be jealous of someone. In every way, she's far inferior to her own woman. Just because the other person, Jinping, captured all my attention. This time, it's me who stays silent. Then I no longer explained, casually reconnecting the medicine as if nothing happened. Anyway, the medicine has already been brewed. The formula used for Su Lingyan's mother is not this one either. If you don't drink it, it will really be a waste. Yun Mengyao did not refuse this time. But her heart was filled with gloom. She believed my topic shift and the way I said this. It was almost like giving her a death sentence. That's it. If this is what Lu Yen wants, I won't let Lu Yen feel troubled anymore. A bowl of herbal medicine went down. Yun Mengyao's brows furrowed instinctively, and the corners of my eyes and brows were filled with laughter. Is it bitter? Yun Mengyao wiped the corner of her lips. Thankfully, don't blame me for not preparing any. Yun Mengyao couldn't help but laugh. No need. I'm not a child anymore. After the words were spoken, Yun Mengyao suddenly realized. That last sentence didn't sound like something Lu Yen would say. If he wanted to leave her, he definitely wouldn't act in such a superfluous manner. Without waiting for her to look up to see what was happening, a shadow suddenly loomed in front of her. I leaned in closer and cupped her face in my hands. Then let me share some of it with you. With that, he leaned in to kiss her. Yun Mengyao's pupils suddenly constricted. Her 5 senses seemed to vanish in an instant. A warm wave surged through her soul. The ambiguous atmosphere in the bedroom kept rising. Both of them seemed to be swept up in the emotions stirred by the kiss. Not long after, they both fell onto the soft bed. I pulled back a bit of reason. You just took your medicine. Just lie down and rest for now. The desire in Yun Mengyao's eyes remains intense and unyielding. She gazes at me with longing. Lu Yen, I gave you the chance to leave. You came in on your own. If you have never had it, she would rather hurt herself. She can't bear to see me frown. But she really has it. It's impossible to let go again. No matter if Lu Yen loves himself or not. Don't even think of leaving her side again. Seeing Yun Mengyao lean towards me, I gently press down on her shoulder. I reach out to cover her with the blanket. Then I sit in the chair beside the bed. Looking at Yun Mengyao, I softly say, be good. Rest well. That's the only way your body can recover quickly. Yun Mengyao looks at me with her beautiful, dreamy eyes. She purses her red lips and then opens them. At this moment, I'm so tired that I don't even have the strength to open my eyes. So I didn't hear clearly what she said. I also missed the pathological obsession and possessiveness in her eyes. The next morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Yun Mengyao staring at me unblinkingly. Her eyes had a faint bluish-gray hue. My brow twitched. I quickly reached out to check her pulse. Confirming that the poison had been cleared, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then another guess popped into my mind. She couldn't have been watching me stay up all night, right? Thinking this, I asked her the same question. Yun Mengyao fell silent for a long time. I was afraid. Afraid that this was just a dream. Afraid that when I wake up from the dream, everything will be gone. I sighed quietly in my heart. Don't be afraid. I will never leave you. Yun Menli had a feeling deep in her heart. She hugged me tightly in response. This is what you said. I nodded. What I meant. After saying that, I patted her arm. You let go first. I'm getting up. But Yun Mengyao not only didn't let go, she hugged me even tighter. Where are you going? I raised my hand and pinched the bridge of my nose. Is it an illusion? How did I wake up? Feeling like Yun Mengyao has become clingier. Of course, I'm going to the company. You know how busy it is at this position. You're not unaware of that. Yun Mengyao slightly moved her chin. But she didn't say anything. However, I keenly noticed what she was concerned about. I suddenly had the thought of teasing her. I nearly forgot. That Su Lingyan is still at the company. Hearing this, Yun Mengyao tightened her grip on my arm again. You're not allowed to go. She immediately panicked. Seeing this, I smiled. If you won't let me go to the company, how can I get rid of her? Yun Mengyao's expression went blank. What did you say? I said word by word. You didn't hear wrong. I said I want to kick her out of the company. How come? Do you have an opinion? Yun Mengyao only felt that she might still be dreaming. After eating, Yun Mengyao, who was going to follow me to work, forcefully shoved the quilt aside. After leaving Yun Mengyao's residence, I walked straight towards the 3 parked Maybachs by the roadside. Assistant Shen Bingbing saw the arriving person. She immediately got out of the driver's seat. She skillfully opened the rear car door. Lu Dai. I nodded in acknowledgement. I bent down to get into the car. I got into the car. On the way to the company, Shen Bingbing would occasionally glance at me through the rearview mirror. She seemed like she wanted to say something but hesitated. Even though I was resting my eyes, I couldn't ignore her intense gaze. If you have something to ask, just say it directly. Shen Bingbing cleared her throat softly. Regarding Lu Yan's private matters, subordinates have no right to inquire. But if Lu Yan wants to say something himself, as his special assistant, I would naturally listen attentively. I coughed a little. I secretly wondered if I was too easy to talk to usually. What assistant dares to tease their boss like this? Well, it's one thing to think about it. I also think there's no need to hide this from her. I broke up with Su Lingyan. My current girlfriend is Yun Mengyao. When we meet in the future, just pay attention 7. Although there are 7 premonitions in the mind. When I heard this, Shen Bingbing was still a bit surprised. Then, she curved her lips into a smile. Her eyes were filled with a comforting smile. Congratulations, Lu Yen. There's a saying that subordinates don't know if they should say. During the rush hour traffic jam, Shen Bingbing stepped on the brakes. Her thoughts became a bit clearer. She knew that her boss had already changed partners. She no longer spoke with reservations. Subordinates always felt that Su Lingyan was unworthy of him. They also didn't understand why you would choose someone like her, especially when there are so many better options than her. And yet, you turned a blind eye to Yun Mengyao, who is so devoted to you. Well, at least you have changed your mind now. It's not too late for everything. Indeed, it's not too late, is it? But we completely missed a lifetime. If I hadn't experienced rebirth, it's probably just as Yun Mengyao said. There wouldn't be another chance to meet in the next life either. As for why I chose Su Lingyan before, I'm not blind either. To not choose a woman I admire in every aspect. Yet I chose someone who is inferior to Yun Mengyao in every way. It's really because Su Lingyan and I were destined lovers in our past life. And we died for a shitty love. I was reborn in a modern era with the memories of my first life. It's impossible not to look for her. It's also impossible to give other women a chance. After all, I am inherently loyal to love. But after I found Su Lingyan in my last life, I didn't even mind her difficult situation. I even reassured her that it was just a loss due to a lack of memories. And I let her join my company. I promoted her to the second-in-command position in the company. Then I helped her return to her family as a wealthy illegitimate daughter. Worked tirelessly and without complaint to manage her family business. In the end, I ended up in such a tragic situation. I remember what was said during the first life when we were devoted to each other. An oath of undying loyalty across 3 lifetimes. It now feels like a joke. I looked out the car window at the rapidly receding scenery. I felt a glimmer of anticipation for what was to come. Su Lingyan. You owe me from the last 2 lifetimes. This time, I will make sure to settle the score. After arriving at the company, I walked past the greetings of the company employees. I went straight to the CEO's private elevator. While pressing the button for the top floor, she instructed while saying, summoning all the senior executives of the company. A meeting was held in the emergency conference room half an hour later. Also, check if Lingyan has arrived. If she hasn't come, call her to come over. After a pause, I added, she needs to come over from the hospital where she is receiving for treatment. Shen Bingbing nodded in agreement. Yet, she couldn't help but feel curious. Director Su has been admitted to the hospital. Given that our CEO just changed girlfriends, it seems she has discovered something significant. After arriving at the office, I turned on the computer. I retrieved a document and printed it out. I placed it in a folder. I was flipping through the evidence records on the A4 sheets. A trace of cold laughter flickered in my eyes. The first step of revenge. Of course, it was to expel Su Lingyan from the company. She wants to step on me to climb up, using my assets as capital to return to her family. It also depends on whether I give her that opportunity. Just as I was thinking this, the office door was knocked on. I stood up with the folder. When the IT guy opened the door, he saw Su Lingyan standing outside with an anxious expression. Lu Yen. I finally managed to do it. I finally got to see you. What happened to you last night? Aunt Lee told me that you didn't come home all night. Were you with Yun Mengyao the whole time? By the end, her emotions were clearly a bit agitated. I didn't respond to her words. Instead, I glanced at her hand, which was thickly wrapped in white gauze, and smiled. Is your hand okay? At the thought of her own hand, Su Lingyan's eyes suddenly darkened. But upon hearing my concern, she immediately played the emotional card. She tried to make me feel sorry for her. The doctor said she needs to be hospitalized. But I can't help but worry about you. Just let the simple bandage 7. Don't you know some medicine too? Can you help me check how it's handled? I directly bypassed her. I stepped towards the elevator. Su Lingyan followed closely beside me. After knowing this person's true nature, even staying in the same enclosed space with her, makes me feel uncomfortable inside. Fortunately, the conference room floor is not far from the top floor. Before Su Lingyan tentatively tried to speak again, the elevator dinged and came to a stop. After exiting the elevator, I took a deep breath of fresh air. I walked straight towards the conference room at the end of the hallway. Shen Bingbing was waiting by the conference room door. She opened the door for me. Lu Dai. Everyone was already there. Su Lingyan looked at Shen Bingbing suspiciously. I don't know why. She always felt that this person was looking at her strangely today. Shen Bingbing pretended not to see. Holding a folder she just received, she followed me closely. Amidst the gazes of many high-ranking officials, I calmly walked to the head seat at the conference table and sat down. With a loud slap, a folder was thrown onto the conference room table. This drew the attention of many executives, who frequently glanced over. I leaned back against the chair. Supporting my chin, I said, "I have gathered everyone here today to announce some adjustments and transfers of certain executive positions." As soon as I finished speaking, I turned my head to look at Su Lingyan, who had just sat down. During Su Daijian's tenure, he abused his position, misusing company funds, which severely harmed the company's interests. After careful consideration, we have decided to terminate his labor contract with the company. She paused as she spoke. She glanced again at the dumbfounded Su Lingyan. "Su Daijian, did you resign on your own? Or are you waiting for the company to fire you?" As the words fell, the entire conference room fell silent. Not only did Su Lingyan look dazed, other senior executives were also stunned, as if they couldn't believe what they heard. The first thought in everyone's mind was that the young couple had a spat. Some were gleeful about it, others acted as peacemakers. Lu Yan's color. Isn't the punishment a bit too harsh? Although Director Su has had some issues, she has also made contributions, hasn't she? The sales department has been under her leadership. The performance has been steadily improving. Moreover, the embezzlement issue is already in the past. Director Su has already reimbursed the money. Can't we change the method of punishment? I looked at the speaker. I secretly thought that Su Lingyan truly had a way with things. I have been in the company for less than a year. Someone who can speak for themselves at the elder level. According to Director Yuan's meaning, the sales department's performance is all his doing. Embezzling funds is illegal. Such things can be easily brushed aside, right? I didn't mean that. Yuan Jinchuan had beads of sweat on his forehead. He received a desperate look from Su Lingyan. He could only grit his teeth and continue to persuade. Lu and Su's relationship. We all see it. We all know that young couples can easily have disagreements. I'm just worried you two will make things too tense. It won't end well then. I let out a cold laugh. I should thank you for thinking of me. I wouldn't dare. Yuan Jinchuan waved his hands, saying he wouldn't dare. But he still wanted to continue. I interrupted him. It's just that. Director Yuan. I'm just a potted plant. Or are you the president? Yuan Jinchuan was instantly speechless. He shot Su Lingyan a helpless glance. Su Lingyan cursed under her breath, calling it useless. I can only place my hopes on myself. Lu Yan. I need to talk to you alone. I didn't refuse. If it weren't for the senior executive's decision needing a meeting notice, appropriately gather opinions, I can't be bothered to go through this process either. After dispersing the senior executives, Su Lingyan immediately stood up, leaning her body forward, drawing out her exquisite scurv. Her delicate finger pushed against my chin. Her seductive voice carried a hint of temptation. Lu Yan. I need an explanation. I chuckled softly. Misappropriating company funds. And then just leaving. Is there a problem with that? Su Lingyan frowned at me. You know that's not what I'm asking. And if you're angry because of this, you wouldn't wait until now to come at me. You definitely wouldn't personally cover these amounts for me, would you? I could barely maintain a smile on my face. Is she reminding me how foolish I was before? Do you really want to know the reason? I crossed my arms, clearly sitting down. The look toward Su Lingyan was full of disdain. When I loved you, I could have worshipped you. But I don't love you anymore. What do you think you are? Su Lingyan clenched her fists tightly. Her chest rose and fell violently. Lu Yan. It was clearly you who pursued me first. Now you say you don't love me anymore, and that's it. Then who do you love? Is it Meng Yao? My expression was full of impatience. It has nothing to do with you. And don't act like a victim. Did you really like me? Or did you see me as a tool for your return to the family? I think you should know better than anyone else. Su Lingyan. I don't feel the slightest bit sorry for you. And you owe me. You can never repay it in this lifetime. Su Lingyan felt a hint of guilt. But hear me out for one last sentence. It seems there's more than this. Just as she was about to speak, she was pushed away by me. Go submit your resignation yourself. Don't make me say the same thing twice. After saying that, I left without looking back. The dismissed high-level staff originally thought the young couple just closed the door to talk. Resolved the conflict. This matter is over 7. But saw Su Lingyan holding her. See, in a daze, walked out of the company building. Rumors started to spread throughout the company. Another. When Yun Mengyao woke up, she saw a woman in a white coat. The woman was talking to her and Jiang Ting with her back turned. Sister Boo, you're awake. Seeing Yun Mengyao open her eyes, Jiang Ting immediately came over. Yun Qingyue sat by the bed, cracking sunflower seeds. She reached out to check Yun Mengyao's pulse. The poison was cleared. By the way, when you said yesterday that you were going to give the medicine to someone else, that really made me angry. So how did you come to understand later? Yun Mengyao hasn't spoken yet. Jiang Ting explained. It was Mr. Lu who decided to prepare the medicine for the young lady. Moreover, Mr. Lu is now with our young lady. Thinking of my sympathetic gaze from last night, Jiang Ting instantly felt wronged. Young lady, you've been poisoned and didn't say a word to your subordinate. Don't you trust me anymore? Who poisoned you? Yun Mengyao ignored her. Instead, she looked at Yun Qingyue with a question. Why are you here? Do you think I want to come and suck? It's just that I'm worried about you. Yun Qingyue gave her a sideways glance. Then she asked again. But isn't that guy completely focused? Isn't it all on that whatever Su Lingyan? Suddenly treating you so well, choosing to be with you again. Don't you suspect he has some kind of scheme? Yun Mengyao's eyes were filled with a desperate passion. So what if he has any schemes? I am willing to give him whatever he wants, including my life. Upon hearing this, Yun Qingyue couldn't help but curse. Are you out of your mind? Always willing to risk your life? Is your life really that worthless? Jiang Ting quickly grabbed a cup of tea, and attentively massaged Yun Qingyue's shoulders, thinking that besides her own Mrs. Cousin, who among her peers would dare to speak to the miss like this? Yun Qingyue drank the tea but didn't seem to calm down. After drinking several more cups, she placed the teacup down on the table. Adjusting her collar, she said, "All right, I'm relieved as long as you're fine. There's a pile of things waiting for me in the lab. I'm leaving. No need to see me off." Although Yun Qingyue said there was no need to see her off, Jiang Ting still sent someone to take her to the airport. After Yun Mengyao got up, she looked at the empty villa. She suddenly felt a bit out of place. Clearly, Lu Yan had only stayed here for one night. Thinking of this, she looked at Jiang Ting beside her. "Go prepare the car. I need to pick up my..." After reporting that, she continued, "To pick up my boyfriend after work." After receiving Su Lingyan's resignation request, I also made some staff adjustments. After that, I sat in the office as usual, handling work-related matters. By the time it was 7 o'clock when work ended, I pinched the bridge of my nose. I picked up my phone and took a glance. It was all a bombardment of calls and messages from Su Lingyan and her brother. I didn't even look. I deleted them all, and blocked both of them. Just as I exited the company gate, I saw Su Lingyan's brother, Su Zhe, walking toward me. As a public figure, Su Zhe was fully armed, wrapping himself up tightly. Even true fans might not recognize him, but I still recognized him at a glance. Su Lingyan was using funds to invest resources into Su Zhe, attempting to make him famous. This served as her second capital for returning to the Su family. After all, the Su family in the capital primarily operates in the entertainment industry. Returning as the son of a popular young star, even if he is an illegitimate child, for the head of the Su family, it is still somewhat enticing. Su Zhe stepped forward and grabbed me. "Brother-in-law, why didn't you answer when I called you? What happened between you and my sister? Why did you make her resign?" Yun Mengyao initially saw me come out, and was about to get out of the car, but after hearing Su Zhe's words, her hand, which was reaching for the door, paused. Jiang Ting in the driver's seat turned back. "Miss, did you hear that? Mr. Lu has dismissed Su Lingcheng. It seems he truly wants to be with you." She said this while looking at the rearview mirror, only to find that Yun Mengyao's expression was not very clear. Yun Mengyao indeed did not have the satisfaction that Jiang Ting imagined. After all, she had known about my plan to fire Su Lingyan since this morning. It was just that the term brother-in-law rubbed her the wrong way. I don't know why the focus has shifted. Someone has already knocked over the vinegar jar. She directly shook off Su Zhe's hand. "You already know about her resignation." "I don't know the reason. Didn't she tell you?" Su Zhe was momentarily stunned. "I just feel a bit strange being like this. But weren't you complicit in all of that? My sister has worked so hard for the company. There are contributions and there is hard work. How can you jeopardize her career because of something that's already in the past? Besides, her injury was also caused by you, right? You used to be extremely worried when my sister even caught a cold. This time she got so seriously injured. It's one thing if you don't care. How can you make a fuss at this moment?" Su Zhe's every word was an accusation. As if all the blame was on me. I immediately interrupted him coldly. "What I do is none of your business. If you think it's unfair, go report me to the Labor Bureau. Step aside. Don't make me say it a second time." Su Zhe felt a pang of anxiety. "Brother-in-law." I shot him a sideways glance. "Who's your brother-in-law? I've broken up with Su Lingyan. Don't call me that again in the future. My girlfriend would misunderstand if she heard that." Upon hearing this, not only Su Zhe was stunned, the surrounding employees also widened their eyes. Regarding our CEO's breakup, they probably guessed something. But now I have a new girlfriend. The senior executives couldn't help but feel worried. Su Lingyan just left. Is another one coming? My position is too high. People instinctively thought that me finding friends was just charity work. Just then, a series of gasps echoed through the crowd. Who is that? So beautiful. Is she a celebrity? How come I haven't seen her before? How have I never seen her? She seems to have visited our company. As the chatter grew louder, a crowd turned to look at Yun Mengyao walking toward them. Confusion spread across their faces. Why would the young lady of the Yun family suddenly be here? Is she here to discuss a collaboration? It's not even time to call after work. Just as they were thinking this, Yun Mengyao walked up and stood beside me. She looked at me with a smile. Are you leaving? I'm here to take you home. Seeing this, the company employees present also opened their eyes wide. A bold guess loomed in everyone's mind, but no one dared to ask. Stunned into silence by my words, Suze finally came back to his senses after a moment. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Are you together? The first time he saw Yun Mengyao, he was astonished by her beauty. She was not only beautiful but also from a distinguished background. Suze even wondered if Lu Yan had lost his mind. How could he not be interested in someone like Yun Mengyao? Instead, he was completely infatuated with his sister. And upon seeing this scene before him, he felt incredibly glaring. I ignored Chiaze. To be exact, ever since Yun Mengyao appeared, my gaze hadn't left her face. What brings you here? Yun Mengyao lowered her head and gave a faint smile. I'm here to pick up my boyfriend after work. It was a rather straightforward declaration. In an instant, it sent the crowd into a frenzy. So she really is Lu Wei's new girlfriend. I also smiled a little. Let's go. Suze rushed forward. You can't leave. What is this, a chicken leg? How has my sister wronged you? You use it and then throw it away. Is this how you treat her? The crowd took a step back, watching the crazed Suze. Who is this? Acting like a madman. Is this how the brother of Su Daijian behaves? And he still claims to be a monitor. Su Lingyan has already been kicked out, okay. But doesn't anyone think this person looks a bit like a celebrity? I remembered. Like that Suze. Speaking of which, both of them have the surname Su. They can't really be siblings, right? Xiaze noticed someone recognized her. She immediately shut her mouth. With a resentful look, she glanced at me and turned to leave. After getting into Yun Menyao's car, I rolled down the window and looked at Shen Bingbing. I have a task for you. It seems that Director Meng of Huaxing Entertainment intends to withdraw from the board. Get in touch with him. Buy all his shares in my name. Huaxing Entertainment's headquarters is located in Shenzhen. It's the entertainment company that Suze signed with. Shen Bingbing looked a bit confused. How do you know about Director Meng's intention to sell shares? But she didn't ask further. She then nodded in agreement. Jiang Ting watched Shen Bingbing leave. While the car sped up, I looked in the rearview mirror and asked, Miss, are we going back to Yujing or to Duan? Yujing is Yun Mengyao's residence. Diwan is my residence. It's a place where every inch of land is extremely valuable in the deep market. Yun Mengyao looked at me with a questioning gaze. I spoke lightly. Let's go to Diwan. Yun Mengyao responded with an "oh." Her tone was somewhat disappointed. Jiang Ting silently slapped herself. Why did I even ask? It would have been better to directly take them to Yujing. My young lady won't turn around and take it out on me, will she? The two people in the back seat were ignoring Jiang Ting's dilemma. I looked at the woman whose ears were almost drooping. Amused, I patted her head. Don't you want me to come back? Yun Mengyao looked at me with a wronged expression. What do you think? My tone was somewhat troubled. But I still have some important things. The documents are at home and need to be dealt with. Is tomorrow okay? Yun Mengyao nodded. Good. Anything you say is fine. After saying that, I kissed Yun Menyao's forehead. The kiss was like a dragonfly touching water, brief and fleeting. Yun Mengyao unhappily chased after me. You weren't like this yesterday. After saying that, she pressed me against the car door. In a fierce manner, she kissed me again. Listening to the ambiguous sounds coming from the back seat, Jiang Ting silently raised the partition. My face alternated between flushed and pale. The premonition before departure was confirmed. But at this moment, she wished to overturn this pot of sweetness. The car drove straight to the bay. Jiang Ting cleared her throat lightly. Mr. Lu, we've arrived. Yun Mengyao reluctantly pulled her lips away. Let's go back. Blushing, she opened the car door. As soon as I got out of the car, I took a deep breath of fresh air. Until a cool evening breeze hit me. It dispersed some of the agitation in my heart. It blew away some of the confusion. I patted my own cheeks, realizing belatedly that it wasn't waiting here for you for quite a while. How did I end up feeling suffocated by her instead? Doubting everything, I walked all the way to the door of a standalone villa. I raised my hand and pressed the doorbell. In a moment, the door opened from the inside. A woman wearing a blue-gray apron greeted me with a smile. Mr. Lu, you're back. The meal will be ready soon. I nodded and walked inside. You didn't come home all night yesterday. Where did you go? As soon as I entered the living room, I was confronted with a question. I saw Su Lingyan's mother, Qin Hui, with her arms crossed, sitting in the middle of the living room sofa, looking like she was there to accuse me. Li Yanfang awkwardly grazed Yang's apron. Mr. Lu, I just forgot to say, that Mrs. Su has come. I'll wait for you here for a while L7. I crossed my arms and leaned against the corner wall. I looked at Qin Hui with a mocking gaze. Where I go has nothing to do with you, right? Look at your attitude. Anyone who doesn't know might think this is your home. Qin Hui's brows furrowed in anger. She seemed to doubt if she had heard correctly. Why do you talk to me like this? Ling Yan was injured last night, don't you know? I responded with an "Oh. Is that all you know about her injury?" Qin Hui frowned, her eyebrows raised high in annoyance. What do you mean? I walked over and sat down on the sofa opposite Qin Hui. I crossed my legs nonchalantly. I calmly poured myself a cup of tea. After finishing, I finally looked up at her. Without answering, I questioned back. I know she was injured. So listen. Qin Hui was both angry and puzzled by my nonchalant demeanor. But the other party extended an olive branch. She couldn't care about anything else. I heard Zi's mention. Ling Yan got hurt because of you. It's bad enough you're not taking care of her in the hospital. It's unreasonable not to promote her. I looked at Qin Hui as if watching a joke. Why not just give the company to her? Qin Hui's eyes lit up, but she still put on a front and said, your things were originally Ling Yan's anyway. Even if you don't give it to her now, you'll have to give it to her in the future anyway. The cup in my hand heavily fell back onto the coffee table. The Qin dynasty has been gone for so many years. You're still stuck in the past. What? Qin Hui was momentarily stunned by this insult. Once she reacted, she immediately exploded in anger. You dare to insult me, and you're turning this back on me? Do you believe I can make Ling Yan break up with you? I looked at Qin Hui with sarcasm. You don't need to worry about it anymore. Your baby daughter has been kicked out by me. Now, please leave immediately. Get out of my house. As my words fell, Qin Hui was stunned for a long time before she reacted. What do you mean by that? You broke up with Ling Yan. How is this possible? She knows how deeply I care for her daughter. So even though I'm the president of a big company, she still dares to manipulate me everywhere. Now I'm actually saying that I broke up with her daughter. I leisurely enjoyed the wonderful expression on his face. If you don't believe me, just call her and ask. Being thrown out means more than just a breakup. Her position has also gone down the drain. Qin Hui's expression changed in panic. She quickly took out her phone to call Su Lingyan. As soon as the call connected, she bombarded her with questions. I couldn't hear what the other side was saying, but I could clearly see. The color drained from Qin Hui's face little by little, until it was nearly paper white. This is truly delightful. Now I know. I gestured towards the door. Get out. My voice reached her. Qin Hui's stiff pupils showed a hint of life. She didn't mind my disrespect. She stepped closer to me and said carefully, Xiao Xue, it's Mom's fault. I shouldn't have come to you without understanding the situation. Did you have a falling out with Ling Yan? You tell Mom. Mom will definitely help you teach her a lesson. Just don't really get angry with her. I looked at Qin Hui's fawning expression. I stood up, full of disgust. You're really quite flexible, aren't you? Then I pointed at the door and said, I'll say it again. Qin Hui's face was filled with anxiety and pleading. There was no longer the arrogance she had when she first arrived. I didn't want to say another word to her. Aunt Li, get her out of here. Aunt Li, who had been silent until now, heard my command. She immediately looked troubled. Mr. Liu, let's speak properly. Mrs. Qin is right. It's normal for young couples to have disagreements. You're making such a fuss right now. How will you end this later? I gave her a half smile, half scoff. Auntie Li, have you forgotten who pays your salary? Auntie Li immediately fell silent. She then turned to look at Qin Hui. Mrs. Mai, you should just leave. Now that things have come to this, Qin Hui couldn't possibly insist on staying any longer. For someone used to being dominant, bowing down once or twice is the limit. Even after being humiliated by me, she's getting temperamental too. Coming from an orphanage. What are you acting so proud for? You remember this well. This time, you're the one choosing to give up Ling Yan. Don't regret it when the time comes. When we return to the Su family, even if you kneel and beg Ling Yan to change her mind, I still won't let you have your way. After saying that, Qin Hui left without looking back. But at that moment, she still didn't know. When the three of them returned to the Su family, my status is something that Su Lingyan can't reach either. I leaned tiredly against the back of the sofa. The spacious living room felt unusually quiet and unique. Not long after, my phone rang. I glanced at the caller ID. The voice sounded a bit softer. What's wrong? Yun Mingyao's pleasant voice came through the microphone. Are you in a bad mood? I rubbed my forehead. It's so obvious. You can tell just by the sound of your voice. Yun Mingyao was silent for a moment on the other end. Has Su Lingyan's mother been bothering you? I sat up abruptly. I got up and walked out of the other room. I looked around. I saw that the black Bentley was still parked in the same spot. But the driver's seat was already empty. I quickly walked to the back seat door. I knocked on the door. The car door opened in response, revealing Yun Mingyao's exquisitely beautiful profile. I opened my mouth 7 times. After a few breaths, I finally voiced the doubts in my heart. Why are you still here? Yun Mengyao fell silent for a moment. Wen is waiting to take you to work tomorrow. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, she lowered her head a bit guiltily. I didn't want to be the one to disturb you, but seeing the person who just walked out, I guessed some details. I was also worried about you feeling down alone, waiting to take me to work. I didn't know if it was me or Yun Mengyao who had lost her mind, or if I was the one who had gone crazy. Just wait here. T can stay in the car overnight. Yun Mengyao didn't say anything. Her head hung even lower. I felt like my heart was about to explode. I just wanted to find a way to vent my feelings. Indulge. The scheming Yun Mengyao, feeling guilty, was brought back to the villa by me. The food on the dining table had stopped steaming. If I have to, I can still eat it. I took 2 bottles of Bordeaux red wine from the wine cabinet. During the process of sobering up, I shot Yun Mengyao an annoyed glance. Eat. Yun Mengyao lowered her head and apologized. I was wrong. Please don't be angry. I glanced at the wine that was chilling in the ice bucket. I chuckled while biting on my chopsticks. I still want to reward you. Although my smile is a bit sinister. Yun Mengyao was still tempted and couldn't help but feel anxious. What kind of reward? What do you think? I kicked the ball back to her. Then I turned my head and focused on eating. After dinner, I poured the sobered wine into the glass. I clinked glasses with Yun Mengyao. To celebrate your recovery and relief from illness. And to rid you of the toxins inside. To celebrate my rebirth. And to clear away the rubbish around us. To celebrate our second day together. And every day that followed. Without waiting for Yun Mengyao to respond, I raised my glass and downed it in one go. I poured another glass for myself. I tapped her glass again. Why aren't you drinking? This wine isn't fake. Isn't it worth celebrating? As soon as he finished speaking, he downed another glass. Just as I was about to pour a third glass, I was stopped by Yun Mengyao's hand. You're drunk. I raised an eyebrow. What kind of joke is that? I've only had 2 drinks. Yun Mengyao still held onto the rim of my glass tightly. Stop drinking. I compromised and let go. I'll listen to my wife. I looked at Yun Mengyao with a smile in my eyes. The desire swirling in her eyes seemed able to overwhelm a person. Lu Yen. If you don't want to be unable to get out of bed tomorrow, don't look at me with those eyes. Even if people know I'm drunk. She was still immensely excited by my casual call of wife. Do you know how poor her self-control is in front of me? How dare he tease her so recklessly? My eyes, tinged with drunkenness, seemed to be trying to decipher the meaning of her words. Then I don't know if I understood it. Then he hooked his finger at Yun Mengyao and ordered, come into my arms. Don't let Lu Yen drink alcohol anymore. This was Yun Mengyao's first thought. No matter how long I rest, I become disoriented. Dazed and confused, I returned to the room with the woman in my arms. I gently caressed Yun Mengyao's face with my hand. Why are you so good to me? Without waiting for a reply, I continued. In this life, let me pamper you. What? Yun Mengyao didn't quite hear the latter part of this sentence, but I refused to say anything more. Yun Mengyao chuckled softly. She lightly kissed my forehead. Aren't you happy to be nice to me? I let out a sound of acknowledgement. I don't know what I was thinking about. I started overthinking again. Is it that no matter how capable I am, as long as my background is poor, I will be looked down upon by some people? Yun Mengyao's expression hardened. Who dares? I don't know what she's thinking in her heart. I grabbed her collar tightly. Would your parents also look down on my background? Would they not allow me to be with you? Upon hearing this, Yun Mengyao felt a sense of clarity in her heart. She remembered Su Hui walking out of the villa. A dark glimmer flashed in the depths of her mind. She extended her delicate hands to hold mine. She said seriously, my parents won't. They will only marvel at your abilities. That you could reach today even in such an environment. My dazed eyes blinked. Really? Yun Mengyao nodded earnestly. Really? My parents are very open-minded. They also respect my opinions. If you don't believe me, I'll take you home to meet them tomorrow. You see me and go silent again. Yun Mengyao felt a bit disappointed inside, but she didn't expect someone who was completely drunk to understand her. To understand every word she said. She took out her phone and made a call. Then she turned up the temperature of the air conditioner a bit, and patiently helped me take off my shoes. After Yun Mengyao finished her tasks, Jiang Ting happened to arrive at the Imperial Bay with the prepared hangover soup. After Yun Mengyao sent the person back, with one hand holding the hangover soup, and the other hand helping me sit up, drink and then sleep, I leaned in to smell it, immediately turned my face away to express my refusal. Yun Mengyao found it somewhat amusing, and felt that this scene was somewhat familiar. I've drunk all the traditional medicine, and you still find this taste unpalatable. I still refuse. Yun Mengyao coaxed gently. Drink it all, or do you want me to feed you in another way? I reached out to take it. While she was unprepared, I dumped both the bowl and soup into the trash can beside the bed. Before Yun Mengyao could react, I tilted my face and kissed her lips. The next day, I was groggily awakened by a phone call. I had just answered the call from D. I heard Shen Bingbing's anxious voice coming through. Lu Dai. Look at the hot building. XINZ has made some damaging claims against you and the company. The company's stock price has already started to drop. After hearing Shen Bingbing's words, I merely responded with an indifferent "Oh, how big of a deal is it? I can't believe you've stayed with me for so long. Why are you so impatient? I'm still worried that Suze won't create trouble. Right now, they are eager to hand over heads. That suits him perfectly." Shen Bingbing was once again impressed by my spirit. "Sorry, Lu Dai. I was the one making a big deal out of nothing. However, Suze's posts are infuriating. Moreover, he even bought trending topics and negative reviews. Along with his fans. The criticism against you is overwhelming on Weibo now. I can't be bothered to get angry," I said calmly. "It's nothing. Let them form an alliance. As long as it involves the entertainment industry. The bashing battles become particularly intense. In my past life, I helped Su Lingyan manage Jianyu, which occupied half of the entertainment industry. I am naturally familiar with this." Shen Bingbing. "Oh. Lu He. Are we not going to expose the evidence of Su Lingyan misappropriating funds?" I smiled slightly. "Of course, we will release the evidence. But it's not just these. I'll talk about it again when I get to the office. You just need to calm the shareholders. What I want is not just to clarify things. It's killing two birds with one stone." Yun Mengyao looked at me with excitement in her eyes, eager to try. Amused, she pinched my earlobe. "It seems you guessed in advance that Suze would do this." I cleared my throat softly. "I just feel that with his personality and mind, he wouldn't just let it go. Nor could he think of a better way to hit me." Yun Mengyao still smiled. "Do you need my help then?" I shook my head. Yun Mengyao has already avenged my past life. In this life, I want to take revenge myself. On the way to the company, I opened my Weibo out of boredom. I saw the trending topic about this matter at number 1. Lu Corporation's plant pot cheating scandal. Popular young actor Suze speaks out for his sister. I clicked on this trending topic. The very first post on the homepage was a lengthy essay by Suze. It was a lengthy essay posted from his own Weibo account. It emphasized how Su Lingyan tirelessly devoted herself to me, and accused me of using people and tossing them aside. It seemingly turned me into an ungrateful scumbag. It portrayed Su Lingyan as a tragic woman. Perhaps it was because of her suspicion towards Yun Mengyao. Although it mentioned who my cheating partner was here. After watching all the way through, I didn't feel much about it at all. Only when I saw comments criticizing Yun Mengyao, did my expression turn cold. And I silently noted down that ID. Yun Mengyao glanced at me. "What's wrong? What are you joking about?" I turned off my phone. I adjusted my expression a bit. I just thought about dealing with Suze later. I felt a bit excited. Yun Mengyao stared at me for a long time. In the end, she asked the question buried deep in her heart. "Is there a problem between you and Su Lingyan?" In the blink of an eye, my attitude towards Yun Mengyao and the Su Lingyan family seemed completely different. If it weren't for my expression and demeanor remaining unchanged, she might suspect that someone else had taken over my body. She doesn't want to investigate me, but this foggy feeling is really uncomfortable. I hesitate for a moment. But what exactly is the problem? I can't tell you for now. Can you give me some time? It's about living through a tragic life in two worlds after all. It sounds too absurd. Moreover, I was a person from ancient times in my first life. Even though I've already taken the final step with Yun Mengyao, I still don't have the courage to lay everything out right now. Yun Mengyao has her arms around my waist. If I don't want to say it, I won't. She actually wants to ask more. Once I resolve the issues with Su Lingyan, will that mean I don't need her anymore? She's afraid she's just my backup. She's my comfort during this time. A tool to annoy Su Lingyan. She fears that if everything goes back to square one, she won't be able to help but lock me away. These past 2 days are the happiest time of her life. If I gave her hope, and then suddenly leave her, it was no different from taking her life. After arriving at the company, I retrieved the evidence of how much Su Lingyan had embezzled. I packaged it and sent it out using the official account. Not a single unnecessary word was spoken. At that moment, Shen Bingbing knocked and walked in. She placed a document on the table. "Lu Yen. This is the equity transfer document from Director Meng. It just needs your signature." I flipped through the contract. I nodded appreciatively. "It's quite good." Then I signed my name in the designated area. "Go prepare the car." Shen Bingbing nodded in response. "Where is Lu Yen going?" The corner of my lips curled slightly. As the new shareholder of Huaxing, of course, I should go greet everyone. Get to know each other. In the Huaxing Entertainment office, Huazi looked at the declining stock prices of Lu's company with a smile. "What's so great about being a potted plant? Don't you know my influence in the entertainment industry now? Dare to act all high and mighty in front of me? I'll make your company go bankrupt." Assistant Xiao Qiao brought him the brewed coffee. She flattered him in a charming tone. Brother Zhe is impressive. I think it won't be long before this man will come crying to you, and begging Miss Su to take him back. Su Zhe snorted. Come on, us. Do we have to forgive him? He dared to embarrass me at the company entrance. I'll make him kneel and apologize to me in front of everyone in the company. As soon as he finished speaking, the break room door was slammed open. Su Lingyan walked in with a gloomy expression. Who told you to post about this on Weibo? Su Zhe was taken aback. Sister, I'm standing up for you. What's with that attitude? Even Lu Yen treats you like that. Aren't you going to do anything about him? Plus, I just want to teach him a lesson. Wait until he can't take it any longer. When he comes begging us, I'll be happy and let him off the hook. Su Lingyan looked at him as if he were an idiot. Should I say you are naive or just foolish? Do you think such a small matter can shake Lu's corporation? But the stock price of Lu's corporation has already dropped. What's going on? Su Zhe was speaking. Suddenly, the stock price of Lu's corporation on the computer screen stopped dropping. And then, it quickly rebounded at almost twice the speed of the drop. Assistant Xiao Qiao's expression also changed at this moment. Brother Zhe, hurry, look at the Weibo. What's wrong with Weibo? Isn't everyone on Weibo criticizing Lu Yen? Su Zhe grabbed his phone in a daze. He saw that several trending topics exploded. The truth behind Sister Chia Zhe's resignation. The vampire siblings deserve their punishment. Su Zhe's eyes widened in shock. What are all these? One of the trending topics is about that. Click on one of the trending searches. The comments section has completely turned around. How can they still have the face to post on Weibo to accuse others? He doesn't even look at where the money is spent. The reason he has his current status today. It was all thanks to his sister misappropriating funds to provide him with resources. Su Zhe looked at the flood of messages cursing him. His siblings felt a chill. How could this happen? Didn't Lu Yen turn a blind eye to the funds being misappropriated? He even had the audacity to present it as evidence to clarify things. Su Lingyan said angrily. You even realize this matter could be detrimental to you. How much effort did I put in? And what immense pressure did I endure to elevate you to this position? Yet you didn't even bother to ask me a single question. You acted on your own accord. Su Zhe realized he had made a grave mistake. What should we do now? Let's publicize that Lu Yen covered your debts. To prove that all of this was his choice. It has nothing to do with us. Su Lingyan was so furious her head throbbed. Shut up. Lu Yan's clarification this time has already led netizens to make assumptions. They believe she is someone who is infinitely tolerant of her girlfriend. Even if the evidence that he paid off our debts is released, it would only add bricks to Lu Yan's deep emotional persona. In the end, it would still be her who gets scolded. Su Zhe was really anxious. Sister, are you not going to take care of me anymore? I worked so hard to achieve my status today. I don't want to leave the entertainment industry. Su Lingyan pinched the bridge of her nose. My brother's success today is all thanks to her efforts. How could she possibly not care? This way, you should issue an apology statement. Just say you had no idea about the funding issue. At least this way, you can save yourself. I'm just an ordinary person. I'm not afraid of their criticism. Qing Zi's quickly nodded. Okay, I'll do it right away. But he just got the phone. The door to the lounge was burst open again. The assistant to the head of the artist management department walked in. No, sir. This lounge no longer belongs to you. Please pack your things. Leave immediately. What? Now not only was Su Zhe stunned. Su Lingyan furrowed her brows tightly. What do you mean? The woman in a suit wore a professional fake smile. I just received a notice from above. Guaxing has decided to terminate the contract with Su. A sudden snap. The phone in Su Zhe's hand fell to the ground. Su Lingyan's face also turned extremely ugly. What termination? Clarify what you mean. The female assistant adjusted the glasses on her nose. If you don't believe it, just go outside and ask, and you'll find out. Su Lingyan's chest was heaving heavily. Her chest was violently rising and falling. She just realized now. Such a big incident has occurred. Su Zhe holds a significant position among the company's artists. Surprisingly, no higher-ups came to care about the PR issues. So they have already decided to impose a ban. This matter isn't serious enough to warrant a ban. According to her, PR1 can be completely handled. Remembering what the person in front of her just said, Qi Shibu walked out of the lounge. Just reached a corner. He saw a group of people huddled together discussing. Have you heard? Su Zhe has been banned. He deserves it. No wonder Su Guai has no backing. Yet he has such good resources. But this person is truly an ingrate. Who would disagree? But this shouldn't be enough for a ban, right? Moreover, he is currently very popular. He can bring quite a bit of profit to the company. How could our dad bear to ban someone? Rumor has it. I heard a new shareholder has joined the company. He directly ordered the ban. Upon hearing this, Su Lingyan paused slightly in her steps. The new shareholder. Just as she wondered who the new shareholder was, a sound of footsteps came from behind her. Su Lingyan turned her head to look. Suddenly, a wave of blood surged. She saw a group of senior executives from Huaxing, crowding around two individuals walking this way. Among the two people surrounded by the crowd, one was Feng Lijiao from Huaxing Bonsai, and the other was me, who fired her yesterday. Feng Lijiao raised his hand and clapped, saying, "Let me introduce. This is our company's new recruit, Mr. Lu Yen." Everyone gave a warm welcome. Those present applauded enthusiastically, while exchanging glances with each other, all looking as if they suddenly understood. Just then, an unknown person, enjoying the spectacle, said, "Isn't that Su Lingyan, Su Zhe's sister and manager?" As soon as those words were spoken, everyone's gaze shifted towards Su Lingyan, and wandered back and forth between her and me. Su Lingyan fixed her gaze on me without blinking. "Are you really going to eliminate all possibilities?" Seeing the situation was off, Feng Lijiao quickly waved his hand. "Everyone, disperse. Go back to what you were doing." Although everyone present wanted to watch the drama, in the end, no one dared to defy the CEO's orders. In an instant, only I and Su Lingyan were left at the scene. To eliminate all. I savored the word, and found it quite fresh. Your original position was given to you by me. Su Zhe's status today was built up by me. Now I'm just reclaiming what is mine, and letting everything return to the starting point. How is this considered to eliminate all? Su Lingyan took a deep breath. What on earth happened? Lu Yen. You know what I'm asking. Just let me understand it clearly. This time, I hadn't yet answered, when Su Zhe ran over. Upon seeing me, Su Zhe's expression immediately changed. "It was you, wasn't it? The company wants to shelve me. It was your doing." I gave a cold laugh. So what if it was me? Su Zhe was filled with extreme hatred, and screamed as she lunged at me. "I drank you." I didn't blink at all. 1. I raised my hand and grabbed his wrist as he swung it at me. I exerted force. With a crack, a bone broke. At the same time, Su Zhe's scream echoed. I tossed him aside like a chick. By the time Su Lingyan reacted, Su Zhe was already on the ground. Zhe. Su Lingyan hurriedly helped Su Zhe up. Her gaze at me was chilling to the bone. "I took note of what happened today. I hope you won't regret this in the future." After saying that, she took Su Zhe and walked out. I watched the figures of the Lingyan siblings. My eyes were filled with coldness. Regret it? The thing I regret most is falling into her trap in 2 lifetimes. Yet I let down Yun Mengyao, who loved me deeply. But it's okay. I still have a chance to remedy it. After leaving Huaxing, I made a phone call. The call connected. A somewhat muffled voice came from the other end. "Who is it?" Hearing this voice again, I still feel a bit uncomfortable. Su Minghui, the legitimate heir of the Su family, and also Su Lingyan's half-brother. "Who is it? If you don't speak, I." "Feng Minghui." I called out his name. Jiang Minghui and Su Minghui were taken aback. "Who are you?" "Who I am isn't important. I mainly want to remind you to be wary of your father's illegitimate daughter out there. She has always wanted to go back to the Su family and fight with you for the family property." Su Minghui doesn't seem to care much. Just based on those siblings. As long as I'm here, they won't even be able to enter the Su family's door. "Mr. Su, it's better not to be too confident. In the previous life, even if Su Minghui strongly opposed, he couldn't stop Lin Lingyan and the others from returning to the Su family. In this life, although I no longer have my help, they also lack the resources to attract the head of the Su family. But I know Su Lingyan well. I won't rest until I achieve my goal. Su Minghui may not really be her match." "What do you mean by that? And what exactly are you here for?" I hung up the phone, and added that number to my blacklist. I've already said enough. If Su Minghui still doesn't wake up, then there's nothing I can do. At that point, I can only take matters into my own hands. Directly across from the cafe is a club. The outdoor observation deck on the 3rd floor of the club faces the transparent glass wall of the cafe. Xia Wanning is talking to the person in charge of the Shenzhen branch. I caught a glimpse unintentionally. After seeing me sitting across, she suddenly stood up. The person in charge across, Lu Jianfeng, was taken aback. "What happened, Miss Xia?" Li Qian next to her also turned to look at her, and became fully alert. Xia Wanning looked at me in a daze. "That man." Lu Jianfeng looked over, meeting her gaze. He smiled immediately and said, "Miss Xia has always been in the capital. She might not know. That is not an ordinary man." Xia Wanning is no longer anxious. She slowly took a seat and then spoke. "How to say?" Lu Jianfeng continued to drive on. "Miss Xia doesn't know him. She should know about Lu's company. Of course. A company that emerged during his time in power. A groundbreaking artificial intelligence company. Since its establishment, it has soared straight up. It took only 3 years. And it covered most of the global market. It became a leading enterprise in the field of artificial intelligence. Xia Wanning, being at the center of power in the business world, naturally cannot be unaware of this. However, there is hardly any information online about Lu's bonsai. There is neither a name, nor a photo. All that is known is that he is a gentleman, and he seems quite young, mainly active in Shenzhen stock market. Lu Jianfeng noticed Xia Wanning's thoughtful expression, and no longer kept them guessing. He is the president of Lu's company. Now, Xia Wanning was truly surprised. What? Listening to Lu Jianfeng, she only thought this man held a high position in the Lu Corporation, but she didn't expect he was just a slacker. She previously thought that young meant at least over 30. At least over 30, but this man clearly looks to be around 30, or rather, he looks younger. If that's the case, then perhaps she just mistook him. Thinking this, she couldn't help but feel a bit distracted. Since Lu Ji knows him, he must know his age. Lu Jianfeng said excitedly, I was just about to tell Miss Xia this. This man is only 19 this year. Seeing Xia Wanning's stunned expression, Lu Jianfeng thought she was surprised by Lu Yan's extreme youth. He then sighed. He's the same age as my son. But my son is still in his senior year of high school. He can't even understand a function. Meanwhile, this guy is already a potted plant of a publicly listed company. Really, people are so different from each other. Just makes you mad. Xia Wanqing felt her heart racing so fast it was about to leap out of her chest. Her voice became dry as she spoke. You say he's 19 years old. Lu Jianfeng smiled and said. Does Miss Xia also find it hard to believe? We, who are over 50 years old. He just couldn't admit he got wrecked by a newly adult kid. Once he stayed in the deep market for a few years, he will have to be acknowledged as a capable individual. Just look at this boy, despite being young. He is not inferior to our group of veterans in the business world. Xia Wanqing desperately restrained herself. To avoid losing her composure, she picked up the pen and signed the document. Then, as if rushing someone, she said to Lu Jianfeng, this project has been approved by Xue Jian. Lu Yan, you must not disappoint me. That is natural. As a subordinate, you must do your utmost. Lu Jianfeng took the approval document with both hands, while assuring. He extended an invitation, saying. He extended the invitation again. I, Lu, have also prepared a banquet for Miss Xia. You must honor us with your presence. Li Qian wondered how this guy could be so clueless. Didn't he see that the young lady of her family was about to lose her composure? Lu Jianfeng had no idea, but she had been with Xia Wanning for so long. She had guessed early on what was causing the young lady's reaction. Speaking of which, this boy's eyes were indeed very similar to her own lady's. They looked very much alike when she was young. Thinking this way, she proactively stepped forward to decline. Xia Wei had always disliked this kind of thing. Just do your own job well. It's better than anything else. Additionally, we need to tell Dad about other matters. You can go back first. After Lu Jianfeng left, Xia Wanning immediately walked downstairs. She couldn't even wait for the elevator. But when she exited the club's door, she found the spot where she had just sat was completely empty. The person had already left. Li Qing was also a bit dumbfounded. Miss, how about we go to his company? As the summer breeze blew, Xia Wanning's rationality returned a bit. A pair of beautiful eyes gazed in the direction of the cafe for a moment, then slowly spoke up. First, make a phone call to reserve. Also, check his personal information, and his experiences over the past 19 years. Every detail accounted for. On the other side in the hospital ward, Su Zhe was crying breathlessly. Look how ruthless Lu Yan is. I feel like my hand is going to be useless. Su Lingyan was also feeling very anxious, but she still soothingly held him in her arms. The doctor said it's just a minor fracture. You should be more careful about your diet usually. It will get better after a while. Su Zhe continued to speak. But are we really going to let this go? Su Lingyan bit her silver teeth. Of course, it won't end like this. When we return to the Su family, anyone who has bullied us, I will make them pay the price. Su Zhe looked up at her. But now you no longer have the Lu family as leverage. I've also been banned by the company. The Su family still has Su Minghui blocking us. Will Dad accept us? Su Lingyan said dismissively. How could I not leave myself an escape route? This road for me is severed. We still have marriage alliance as an option. Marriage alliance. Su Zhe's mouth slightly opened. Thought of something. Chua Shi's eyes lit up. You're still in touch with brother Haochen, right? Song Haochen, the only son of the Song family in the capital. Su Lingyan approached him while in the capital. If it weren't for the head of the Song family looking down on her status, and then encountered me, a better stepping stone coming to her, she wouldn't have given up on Song Haochen. Instead, she turned to me for support. Although she chose Lu Yan, she has always kept in touch with Song Haochen. Plus, her intentional guidance. The other party always thought it was his dad who broke them up. I don't really blame her. He always felt guilty towards her. Right now, I have already betrayed her. There's no need for her to hide anymore. We are still in contact. First, convince his dad. Then we will get married. Gongza was overjoyed instantly. That's great. The Song family and the Su family are a perfect match. Song Haochen is also the only son of the Song family. In the future, when you get married, if dad finds out, he might even invite us back to the Su family. As he spoke, his expression changed again. Sister, you shouldn't have given up on Haochen before. Although the Song family ranks 8th among the nobility in the capital, still, it is a family that has been passed down for many generations. Family businesses have a solid foundation. The Lu family looks good now, but can such a young business maintain its glory for several years? Moreover, he is a wild child from an orphanage. Even if he mingles with the upper class, he will still be looked down upon. He thought that by getting close to Yun Mengyao, he could blend into the upper class. But the Song family values background. 67 Susie's words. After hearing Susie's words, Su Lingyan's mood, which had been depressed these past few days, finally eased a bit. She pulled out a few tissues and handed them to Chiaze. Wipe your cute cat face. Song Haochen will be here soon. Don't let them see you make a fool of yourself. Su Zhe blankly caught the tissues. Brother Chen is coming. Isn't he living in the capital? How could he suddenly come here? Su Lingyan explained. Old Master Zheng from Shenzhen is celebrating his 80th birthday. The Song family and the Zheng family are cousins. He came here to have some fun. In the luxurious reception room on the other side, she looked at the woman pushing the door open. Yun Mengyao raised her hand to send Jiang Ting to make coffee. It's a rare guest. Sister Wan Ning. Why did you suddenly think of coming to Shenzhen 7? Xia Wan Ning tossed the car key onto the coffee table in the reception room. She walked over and sat down on the sofa opposite Yun Mengyao. She looked at ease as if she were in her own home. I also want to ask you, how come you've been in Shenzhen for so long? Yun Mengyao raised her eyebrows slightly. You don't seem like the type to meddle in others' affairs. Xia Wanning's expression remained indifferent, but her tone carried a hint of calm familiarity. There are 2 flavors at home. I can't be bothered to deal with you. Aunt Shu asked me to deliver a message to you. She said if you don't go back soon, she will come over personally. Upon mentioning this, she paused. A playful smile appeared at the corner of her lips. It makes me wonder which man has captivated you. Yun Mengyao choked slightly. Xia Wanning seemed unfazed by Yun Mengyao's blunder. Instead, she addressed Yun Mengyao's initial question. I'm here to assess and approve a project. Additionally, as she spoke, she straightened her posture slightly. The sparkle in her eyes seemed to brighten a bit. I think I've found my brother. Upon hearing this, Yun Mengyao also wiped the smile off her face. So sure. Have you done a paternity test? Xia Wanning's crossed arms rubbed together unconsciously. Not yet, but I have a gut feeling that it's my brother. You know, that kind of telepathy. All those suspects I looked for before, including those who looked just like my mom to impersonate her, none of them made me feel this way. Yun Mengyao was somewhat puzzled. Then what are you hesitating about? Why don't you take someone for the paternity test? Instead, you come to me. Helping my mom pass a message is more important than finding your brother. Of course not. Since it's not confirmed. She didn't say outright that person might be the president of the Lu Corporation. Moreover, she felt more that it was. At the moment truth was about to be revealed, she felt a sense of unease instead. Yun Mengyao probably sensed her state of mind. Then, he didn't ask further. Just then, Jiang Ting walked over holding 2 cups of coffee. Yun Mengyao lifted the cup and drank. She casually asked, your brother needs to be found. He should be about the same age as me, right? Xia Wanqing nodded. Just half a year younger than you. Yun Mengyao was about to ask Xia Wanqing for her brother's birth date. Just then, Miss Xia, who had been all smiles a second ago, suddenly turned sour. Don't get any ideas about my brother. Even if you are of similar age, a match in status won't work either. My brother was taken away at birth. It was really hard to get him back. If I don't pamper him enough, he won't even consider marriage. Yun Mengyao looked at Xia Wanqing, who suddenly became defensive. The Xia Wanqing who had raised her hostility, it left her feeling amused and helpless. I'm still not sure if he's your brother. You're being so protective. Being stirred up like this. She couldn't be bothered to ask about her brother's birth date anymore. She hurried to cut ties. Besides, I already have a boyfriend now. Xia Wanqing was taken aback by this. Before she could ask for clarification, a message arrived on her phone. It was from Li Qian. I have news about my brother. She immediately stopped caring about Yun Mengyao's love life. I've already passed on Aunt Shu's words. No other matter. I'm leaving first. After saying that, she didn't give Yun Mengyao a chance to see her off. Xia Wanning got into a black car parked on the side of the road. Li Qian in the cab handed her a thin document and said, Miss, according to my investigation, that boy is named Lu Yen. He is 19 years old, but the date of birth is unknown. Additionally, he has no father, no mother. He was taken in by Nanling Orphanage before the age of 5. Other information cannot be found. Hearing that I am an orphan with no father and no mother, Xia Wanning was both excited and heartbroken. Excited that the possibility of him being her younger brother is even greater. Thinking about the suffering he might have endured as a child. Extremely heartbroken. But why is it that other information cannot be found? Although the Xia family is not like a top international intelligence organization, but with power and status on par with the Lu family, shouldn't be unable to find someone's background. Li Qian shook her head. My subordinates are incompetent. But Mr. Lu's information seems to have been deliberately erased. Only these superficial ones remain. Can't find anything else. Xia Wanning looked thoughtfully at the document. He ordered in a deep voice. Place an order with Shichu. Xia Wanning glanced at her wristwatch. How did the appointment go? Li Qian replied. It's already been scheduled. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Xia Wanning nodded. He wanted to say something. But then Li Qian exclaimed. Miss, Shichu has rejected our request. Xia Wanning glanced up at her. Why was it rejected? You're not looking for Yi Bai, are you? Yi Bai, the core figure of Shichu, Wu, but also the most mysterious, the most unpredictable. It depends on the mood when taking orders. No, there isn't. I went directly to the official website. Then, shortly after, I was refused again. Xia Wanning's eyes showed even more confusion. Then let's not save for now. The most important thing right now is to confirm first whether Lu Yen is indeed my brother. Lu's bonsai office. I wore a uniquely shaped headset. Listening to 7th Elder, one of the 4 elders of Shichu, making noise over there. Miss Xia from the Xia family in Huagua is checking you. Refused by me to make a wardrobe. I rejected them. I lowered my voice. There is indeed. So heartless. But do you have any special connection with her? Why does she want to check you? Do you need someone from Shichu to help you? No need, thank you. After I finished speaking, I hung up. Leaving 7th Elder across the ocean furious. After turning off the computer, I called Shen Bingbing in, preparing the car. Shen Bingbing glanced at the time before getting off work. Lu Dai, aren't you waiting for Yunwei to pick you up? Ever since the CEO got together with Yun Mengyao, she realized she rarely had the opportunity to work as a driver now. Her commutes are covered by Yun Mengyao. I asked in return. Why wait for her to pick me up? Can't I go pick her up after work? Yun Mengyao planned to leave work early. Just like yesterday, she was thinking of picking me up from work. The moment she stepped out of the company, she saw a luxury car parked at the entrance. Miss, why does this look so much like Mr. Lu's car? Jiang Ting was puzzled. Then she saw the backseat door open. It really is Mr. Lu. Jiang Ting's mouth hung open. Mr. Lu, what are you doing here? I rested my elbow on the window frame, watching Yun Mengyao smile with her lips curved. Why else would I be here at this hour? Of course, it's to pick up your young lady after work. Yun Mengyao lowered her head and smiled faintly. Her long eyelashes cast a delicate shadow. The afterglow of the setting sun danced among them. Beautiful like a dream. My heart trembled weakly. I thought to myself, if it weren't for Su Lingyan, I might have been captivated by this stunning beauty in my past life. A light cough to disguise myself. I tapped my fingertips on the side window frame. Get in the car. Yun Mengyao responded with a soft, Chuan opened the car door. Then I heard Jiang Ting call out softly. Miss, do you know what you look like right now? Yun Mengyao's eyes were unwavering. Jiang Ting glanced over with concern. But she bravely replied. A young lady with a blushing face, like a flower on a bridge. Shen Bingbing and I laughed out loud together. Compared to Jiang Ting's bold actions, I think I manage quite well. Yun Mengyao beckoned Jiang Ting with her finger. Come here to me. Jiang Ting cleverly adjusted to hug my thigh. Mr. Lu, help. A sly smile formed at the corners of Yun Menyao's lips. It seems you don't intend to go back. After saying that, she no longer paid attention to her. She bent down and got into the car. Shen Bingbing saw Yun Mengyao get into the car. She started the car and asked. Lu Bag, we are going to Yujing. She still doesn't know that the two are living together. She thought it was just a simple pickup of his girlfriend from work. This time, I turned my head, looking to ask Yun Mengyao's opinion. However, before Yun Mengyao could express her opinion, Jiang Ting suddenly came back to life. Assistant Shen, you wouldn't understand this, would you? With the current relationship between Miss and Mr. Lu, sending them anywhere would be the same. It's just a change of location. Yun Mengyao raised her eyebrows. This time, there was no rebuttal. Shen Bingbing seemed to understand, but not really. It wasn't until I instructed them to go to Yujing that they confirmed the course. Before departing, she turned around to glance at Jiang Ting again. Miss Jiang, are you sure you don't want to come back with us? No need. I still have to drive the young lady's car. Jiang Ting waved her hand. Not knowing what she was thinking, Her gaze toward Shin Bingbing turned into one of glee. Truly, karma works in mysterious ways. Assistant Shin can finally understand how I feel today. After saying that, she turned and left. She didn't give the other party a chance to inquire. Shin Bingbing was indeed in a haze. However, she soon understood the meaning behind Jiang Ting's words. Listening to the ambiguous noises coming from the back seat, she couldn't help but think. She had also carried her own potted plants and Su Lingyan, but she had never seen the two get involved. It seems Su Lingyan really is an anomaly. Just then, a series of phone calls broke the silence in the back compartment. I gasped as I pushed the emotional Yun Mengyao away. I grabbed my phone and glanced at the caller ID. "What's wrong, Xiaohua?" There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line. A voice full of youthful excitement came through. "Bro." I responded with a slight "Ahu." "Things are fine over there." Yun Mengyao couldn't help but glance at me several times. She knows I have a younger sister. She is the daughter of the director of the orphanage that once took him in. She just has never seen how the two of us interact. She doesn't know either. This is how I am when facing that girl. It's as if I've hidden away the edges and mask of my rain-soaked self. Even my voice is filled with tenderness. Although I don't want to admit it. She still couldn't help but feel jealous. Lu Xiaohua still doesn't know. Because her future sister-in-law has stirred up a jealousy cauldron. I don't have much going on here. I just wanted to ask. Did you break up with Su Lingyan? I responded with a slight "Ahu." I saw the Weibo post. Lu Xiaohua's voice conveyed an indescribable sense of ease and joy. "You finally understand." I heard her relieved tone. Suddenly, I felt a wave of shame. A problem that both my assistant and sister can understand. How could I not understand? It's just that I had the promise of a life in the first world. Even knowing that Su Lingyan used me in the second life. I didn't give up either. I just thought it would be fine once she regained her memory. "Brother, do you have a new girlfriend now?" Lu Xiaohua's voice pulled my thoughts back. I made a sound of acknowledgement. He smiled and replied after glancing at Yun Mengyao. "I'll show it to you when I have the time." As my words fell, a long silence came from Lu Xiaohua's side. Just when I almost thought the call had ended, Lu Xiaohua finally spoke softly. "Brother, is she also in the deep market? I'm flying over tonight. I'll help you check." I instinctively asked a question in return. "Don't you have a competition?" I immediately guessed her worries. For a moment, I felt a mix of laughter and tears. "She is the person I've chosen. You don't have to worry. I'm even more worried now. Just broke up with Su Lingyan. I've just set my sights on this person." I just finished and hung up the phone. I turned my head and glanced at Yun Mengyao. "You have nothing to say." I could clearly feel that. When I first answered the phone, the scholar's emotions were somewhat fluctuating. Yun Mengyao had already. When I mentioned taking her to see Lu Xiaohua, she no longer held a grudge. At this moment, after hearing my words, "Lu Yen, am I the one you've chosen?" I hugged her back. "Yes." Yun Mengyao looked at me with a face full of happiness. "Just having you say that is enough." The next day, I was working in the president's office as usual. By 10 o'clock, I heard the knock on the door right on time. "Please come in." With a snap, the door was turned open. Xia Wanning walked in with Li Qian. The moment I saw Xia Wanning, the corner of my mouth twitched slightly. Clearly, she had dressed up carefully. Those in the know would say it's a meeting between two company heads. Those who don't know might think she's here for a blind date. I'm not unfamiliar with the young lady of the Xia family, the leader of the Xia family in the capital. She has a single mother who can be called a strong woman. And this young lady from the Xia family is also perfect. She has inherited all the qualities of her mother. However, rumors say this person is cold and aloof. She wouldn't put much effort into her clothing and appearance either. What on earth is going on now? If I hadn't seen her in a previous life, I would have thought it was someone else. Seeing my reaction, Li Qian felt something was off deep down. Did she go a bit overboard? I still remember when I got up in the morning. Her young lady said she needed to dress up for meeting her brother today. Although she repeatedly emphasized, the paternity test hasn't been done yet. This might not even be her brother. But the young lady was still in front of the mirror, trying on clothes for 3 hours. Yet she was not satisfied with any of them. In the end, she still made the final decision. The young lady, who has difficulty making choices, dressed in this outfit. The result seems to be a rollover 7. Initially, I was the one who broke the silence first. Xia's esteemed presence is here. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. As soon as I finished speaking, Li Qian saw her young lady slightly stagger. She immediately felt embarrassed and couldn't bear to look. Having followed her young lady for so long, she had long understood that her young lady was obsessed with her brother. Usually, she thinks about her brother to the point of going crazy. Xia Wanning didn't know how her image was being secretly arranged. What a spectacle it had become. Upon hearing my voice, she instantly showed surprise. "Do you know June?" She understood it clearly. Our young lady has 0 IQ in front of her brother. I find my attitude towards Xia Wanning a bit strange. Xia Dai's face frequently graces the covers of various financial magazines. It's hard not to recognize him. Xia Wanning's rationality has somewhat returned. Lu Yen was overly polite. Lu's father achieved greatness at a young age. He founded it at a young age, and led the latest artificial intelligence technology to the world. That really makes me feel ashamed. This has turned into mutual business flattery again. I tugged at the corner of my lips. I stood up and walked towards the meeting sofa. Xia Wei, there's no need to be formal. Just sit down. Assistant Shen, go make some coffee. Shen Bingbing nodded in agreement. Before leaving, she cast a doubtful glance at Xia Wanning. After sitting down face to face, I got straight to the point. Did Xia Dai come to see me for something? As far as I know, the Xia family's business doesn't involve artificial intelligence. Or does Xia Dai intend to expand into this field? Xia Wanning had a smile on her face. What if I say there is? Would Mr. Lu be willing to give me this favor? I pondered for a moment. The Xia family is wealthy and powerful. I have some understanding of Miss Xia's style in the business world. As long as there's no backstabbing, if I collaborate with them, I will definitely profit. I tapped my index finger on the armrest twice. What is Miss Xia's intention in this regard? Is it related to production or? Xia Wanning immediately replied. Investment. I was taken aback for a moment. Only investment? What about Mr. Lu's thoughts on this? I suddenly became wary. The current shareholders of the Lu family have nearly balanced their holdings. Xia family would probably not be interested in fewer shares. Xia Wanning knew I had misunderstood. She hurriedly interrupted. The Xia family only invests. They do not care about Lu's stock price. In fact, she also wanted to mention that dividends do not matter. But she was afraid I might overthink it. So she held back her words. I am really surprised now. 7. There are indeed examples of solely investing without holding shares. But this kind of dry white wine is sent to me. Money matters are indeed in the Xia family's style. Even if Miss Xia is upright and honest, she wouldn't be so devoted to charity, right? Thinking this way, I also asked. Xia Wanning secretly thought. No wonder she sits in this position at such a young age. If Li Qian knew her lady's thoughts, she would definitely shake her neck and shout. Wake up, isn't this your brother? What are you so proud of? If Mr. Lu is not at ease, I can sign a guarantee. I interrupted her. Wait a minute, can I know why your heart? Because you are my brother. I am willing to invest in you. Of course, Xia Wanning cannot express her thoughts now. Since its establishment, the Lu family has steadily risen in social status. Although the Xia family did not seize the best opportunity, they now want to share in the profits. Is Mr. Lu willing to give me this opportunity? I remained silent for a long time. I still held my ground. I can't take advantage of you for nothing. You should take a look at the company's performance overview before making a decision. As I spoke, I looked at Shen Bingbing, who walked in holding coffee. Bring over the recent development summary of the company. Shen Bingbing nodded in response. After I received the documents from Shen Bingbing, I was about to pass them to Xia Wanning. Then I saw her get up and walk around the coffee table. Sitting at 7, I feel pain. She looked like she wanted to read it together with me. Since Lu Yen is so considerate of me, I'd rather obey than be respectful. My body shifted slightly. The strange feeling I had when I first saw Xia Wanning intensified at this moment. Why does she have to sit next to me to look at a document? What's wrong with this woman? Xia Wanning pointed to a spot. Lu Wei, can you explain this part to me? I'm a bit unsure. I suppressed the odd feeling in my heart. I looked down at the place she was pointing to. Xia Wanning took advantage of my diverted attention. With her other hand, she quietly picked up, reaching for my hair. From Shen Bingbing's perspective, she couldn't see Xia Wanning's little movements behind me, but from Li Qian's angle, it was all too clear. Her heart also jumped into her throat along with Xia Wanning's hand. Just as she was about to succeed, it felt like I had eyes on my back. I turned around and grabbed Xia Wanning's wrist. The friendliness on my face vanished. In its place was a flash of anger. Miss Xia, please behave yourself. Xia Wanning was taken aback. She didn't expect I would be so stern. Li Qian could hardly bear to watch this unbearable scene. The young lady of her family, who is usually so upright, it was the first time engaging in such underhanded dealings, just flipped left. Since she had already been caught, Xia Wanning also stopped trying to hide it. Mr. Lu misunderstood. I just feel you resemble my brother who has been missing for many years. So just now I wanted to take your hair for verification. I didn't inform you beforehand. I'm really sorry. I was taken aback. About my identity in this life, I rarely probe into it. I only remember being born, when I was taken away by a man wearing a black hood, after a long car ride, after confirming that we had shaken off our pursuers. The man whose face I couldn't see covered my mouth and nose, trying to suffocate me. That man probably didn't expect that a newborn, A newborn baby would have the mindset of an adult. Understand how to hold my breath and pretend. When he noticed the baby's struggles gradually stopped, after my breathing faded, he tossed me into the grass by the roadside, lying still and waiting for a few thugs to leave. When I sensed that a passerby was nearby, I burst into loud cries, attracting attention. And I met the head of the orphanage who later adopted me. I imagine if I hadn't been born with memories of my past 2 lives, to protect myself in critical situations. In this life, I have already. I don't blame my relatives in this life for not protecting me well. After all, that kind of thing happened. It's likely that no one could have anticipated it. But because I wanted to find Qin Lingyan, I was also afraid that as a child under my relatives' care, it would be inconvenient to act with an adult's mindset. So I didn't have the thought of searching for my family. I just didn't expect that today, 19 years later, someone who seems to be a relative would proactively come to me. When recalling, I didn't respond to Xia Waning's apology. Instead, I asked another question. So you investigated my background? Was also because of this? Xia Waning was momentarily taken aback again. You know, is Xia too underestimating me? I said with a smile. If I was investigated and had no inkling of it at all, then I should hand over the position of the company's president. I should relinquish it willingly. Xia Waning felt both ashamed and delighted for a moment. Seeing that I didn't look angry, she apologized again and then straightforwardly made her request. Since Mr. Lu already knows, is he willing to do a paternity test with me? When Shen Bingbing came in holding coffee, she heard such a statement. As she set down the coffee, her gaze shifted between her company president and Xia. She looked between Wan and Ning repeatedly. Not sure if it's just psychological, they really do look somewhat alike. My gaze fell on the swirling surface of the coffee. My fingertips lightly tapped on the armrest. Seeing me hesitate and not speak, Xia Waning felt a wave of unease in her heart. Mr. Lu, regarding the loss of Qian Xiaodi, our whole family is in great pain. We are also very anxious and very guilty. Also felt very guilty, but there were too many things happening at that time, and they were all too sudden. Not only was my newborn brother taken away, our father also suddenly disappeared. Plus, a relative and a shareholder took advantage of the situation. Mom almost didn't make it through in the delivery room. Over the years, we have been looking for our brother's whereabouts, even knowing that the odds were slim if he was captured in that situation. We've never given up either. If you really are our brother, can you give us a chance? We know you must have suffered a lot over the years. We will definitely compensate you double. Speaking of the most important. Her tone carried an emotional weight. Yes, Mr. Lu. Li Qian echoed. The 3 young ladies are almost going crazy missing their brother. Although the lady is usually quiet, she often spends a whole day in this young man's room of the Xia family. The room prepared for the young master. They hope every day to reunite with the young master. I looked at Xia Waning's almost pleading eyes. The gold looked somewhat unnatural. Except for Yun Mengyao, I really haven't seen any other daughter of heaven who has been so humble in front of me. I can easily handle those who play tricks on me with a cold face. I can easily manage. I'm just afraid of encountering this kind. That kind of. I might not even be your brother. You don't have to speak to me with that attitude. As I spoke, I picked up my hand and handed some hair with roots to Xia Waning. I have other things to do this afternoon. I need to do a paternity test. You go by yourself. Seeing this, Shen Bingbing reminded me with some concern. Aren't you going to follow? If you just give away your hair like that, aren't you afraid someone will use your hair for other purposes? Considering Xia Waning was present, he didn't say the words that followed, but the meaning was clear. This time, Xia Waning hadn't spoken yet, so I looked up and replied. So I'm giving you a task. Next, accompany Xia Waning to do the paternity test. Don't follow me 7. Shen Bingbing finally felt relieved. Yes. Xia Waning felt offended by their conversation. Instead, she felt gratified that I had such vigilance. She carefully took the hair I handed her, sealed it in a sterile bag I had prepared in advance. Then she gave me a deep look. Just call me Lu Dai or Mr. Lu. Wait until I finish the paternity test. Come to find me after the results come out. Wait a moment. I pushed the collaboration proposal back to her. Since your purpose for coming isn't collaboration, then take this away. Xia Waning is really getting serious now. Actually, we can too. I raised my hand to interrupt him. I looked at this collaboration project. It's completely giving me money. It's still uncertain if I'm your brother. I won't take advantage of this either. Take it away. Seeing my firm attitude, Xia Waning. People can only swallow their extra words. She signaled Li Qian to take it, and extended a hand toward Shen Bingbing. Please. I wouldn't dare. Xia Dai headed out first. Shen Bingmu was startled by Xia Waning's gesture inviting her. Let's not mention Xia Waning's prestigious status first. Even if the paternity test proves that they are related by blood, the other person is also the president's sister. How could she dare to walk in front? Xia Wanning said no more. She took the lead and stepped outside. Her pace remained steady and calm. But Li Qian, who knew her well, could still see a hint of urgency in her. Left the company. Xia Wanning opened the car door and got in. She took out her phone and made a call. In the capital, the Xia family. Yang Wanyan was handling affairs in her study. She received a call from Xia Wanning. After learning that she might have found her son, she immediately stood up excitedly. I will head to Shenzhen right away. Xia Wanning quickly spoke up. It is currently uncertain whether it is insufficient. Mom, just have someone airlift the hair. I'm afraid I won't be accurate enough doing it myself. The butler, Lu Dequan, also advised. Madam, please don't get too excited first. This isn't the first time we've found someone who might be the young master. Isn't taking care of your health more important? Yang Wanyan slowly sat down, thinking back on the surprises and disappointments from before. A layer of warmth involuntarily covered her eyes. Regardless of anything, I hope this time it's real. It's already been 19 years and 7 months. I haven't had a peaceful night's sleep in a day. I'm just afraid something might happen to this child. Or that he might already be gone. I don't even know how many more 19 years I can wait for. Yang Wanyan couldn't afford to be sentimental anymore. She quickly pulled out a certain amount of hair, placing it in a sealed bag. She performed the procedure skillfully. The empty butler. Quickly have someone prepare the helicopter. Send the hair over. I don't know because of my own issues. The Xia family is once again in disarray. To be precise, although I agreed to the paternity test, I personally do not care much about the results of this test. With my current social status, I do not need family, and can live quite well. Besides, Yun Mengyao also said that my parents are not around, so nothing can hinder me from moving on. Putting all of this behind me, I took out the invitation from the Jing family that I received a few days ago. I made a phone call. Not long after, a woman with blonde hair and sunglasses walked in, carrying several large and small bags. Daesu, did you miss me? I glanced at her. Stop wasting time. Hand me the clothes and shoes. The person was not in a hurry at all. Instead, she smiled happily. At your command. The man in front of me is none other than the internationally renowned stylist known as the Hand of God. The internationally renowned stylist, Diana, currently working at Huaxing Entertainment. As the styling guru of the entertainment industry, even top-tier artists have to wait in line to ask her for styling. It also depends on her mood. And it depends on handsome Shan's mood as well. Yet such a person is always willing to help me. While I took a moment to go to the lounge to change into my gown, Diana was biting into an apple. She mumbled while speaking. I just returned from a business trip, and I heard you become a shareholder in our company. How come? Are you planning to support me? I ignored her. Diana didn't mind either. She continued to speak to herself. I heard you broke up with Ms. Su. Congratulations. So, are you thinking about me next? I shot her a glance. I already have a girlfriend, thank you. Diana looked like she had discovered something remarkable. You're really cheating 7. I thought Su Zixing was a person with cerebral palsy who slandered you. Well done. So, who is your current girlfriend? Stop messing around. I walked to the desk and sat down. Can we start with the styling now? Diana gently brushed my cheek with her right hand. She smiled slightly. I'll be right there. On the other side. Yun Mengyao glanced at the time. She was just about to call Lu Yen. Suddenly, the office door was pushed open. Jiang Ting poked her head in. Miss, Mr. Lu has arrived. Yun Mengyao thought I was here to pick her up again. But seeing Jiang Ting's expression, something seemed off. What is this? Her voice cut off as she saw me step in. The moment I entered the door, it came to an abrupt stop. The handsome styling made Yun Mengyao breathe even more rapidly. She stared at me without blinking. For a long while, she couldn't say a word. I walked to Yun Mengyao's side. I placed my hands on the desk. Stunned, Yun Mengyao straightened her outfit. My chest rose and fell violently. Blushing, I spoke up. Where are you going? I was a little curious. Didn't you receive an invitation from the Jing family? Got it. But, she paused when she got to this part. She instructed over the internal line. Postpone tonight's conference call to tomorrow. Jiang Ting let out a sound of surprise. Miss, this is an international conference call. We've been preparing for this for over a month. Yun Mengyao wanted to say something more, but I interrupted her. If you have something to do, you don't need to go. Honestly, I was also too lazy to attend this kind of banquet. However, Uncle Zheng helped me a bit during the early days of the company's founding. I can't let him down. Yun Mengyao's tone revealed a hint of jealousy. You're looking so handsome. Going to the banquet alone. Surely those rich heiresses will be enchanted. I'll go with you. I gave her a glance. Don't be willful. Yun Mengyao grasped my finger. She bit down in frustration. But in the end, I couldn't bring myself to exert force. I'll come find you after I finish the meeting. Call me in time if anything comes up. As night falls, the lanterns begin to light up. One after another, luxury cars arrived outside the Jing family's gate. A luxury car came after another. The Zijia father and son stood outside with smiles on their faces, welcoming every guest who arrived. When I arrived, the bustling entrance suddenly fell silent. Only the sound of people gasping remained. Zheng Guoqiang was also taken aback when he saw me. Then he pulled his son and walked over. Usually, all the attention was focused on Lu Dai's abilities and charisma. It was only today that I realized Lu Dai's appearance is by no means inferior to his abilities. With such a get-up, even the stars of the entertainment industry should feel ashamed. I handed him the prepared gift in advance. Uncle Zheng, you're being too kind. It's impressive that Lu Dai can make it. Lu Wei can hardly be compared. I felt honored. What gifts should I even bring? Zheng Guoqiang half-heartedly scolded, while happily taking the gift box, and handed it to the butler beside him. I tugged at my lips, responding to the child. Xiaolong. This is the brother I often tell you about. Zheng Guoqiang pushes Zheng Long forward 77. He's only 19 years old, already the president of a publicly listed company. He's even more formidable in the business world than your father and me. Just look at yourself. You still have a month until you turn 19. You can't even make it into the top 500 in your grade. All you do is play every day. I don't expect you to be as impressive as Mr. Lu. If you could just be 1 in 10,000 like him, I would worry a lot less. Got it. You say that 800 times a day. Are you not tired of it? Xia Long waved his hand to swat his hand away. He casually shot me a glare. You can welcome the guests here by yourself. I went to play 7 with my cousin. You, child. Zheng Guoqiang watched Zheng Long run back, feeling frustrated with wide-open eyes. He then forced a smile and said to me, made Lu Yayan laugh. The girl is usually spoiled by me. Wait until I return. I will definitely give him a good lesson. I'm a bit confused. I know Zheng Guoqiang has no ill intentions. It's a common problem among many parents. But this has unintentionally built up some resentment towards me. And from what Zheng Long said, it's not the first time he's nagged in front of him. Zheng Wei's way of educating children is indeed somewhat thoughtless. Everyone has their own aspirations. Don't push your child too hard. Yes, yes, yes. What Lu Wei is teaching is. Zheng Guoqiang called over a servant. Please come in, Lu Dai. I nodded, walking behind the leading servant. Inside the banquet hall, Zheng Long ran back all the way. He headed straight for Song Haochen's side. Cousin. Song Haochen raised his hand to catch him. Weren't you welcoming guests outside with uncle? Why did you run back? Zheng Long said angrily. It's because I ran into that person. My dad can say whatever at home. Comparing the two of us in front of that person. It's really driving me crazy. Song Haochen looked puzzled. Which person? It's the president of that company. His name is Lu Yen. Zheng Long curled his lip. This person has a grudge against me, making me live in his shadow every day. As soon as he finished speaking, Song Haochen and the Yong family siblings next to him changed their expressions simultaneously. Lu Yen. Su Zhe looked extremely resentful. He is here too. That's right. Zheng Long nodded. My dad is almost treating him like an idol. How could we not invite him? Mrs. Su noticed something off about Song Haochen's expression. She quickly held his hand. She softly reassured him. Don't take it to heart. Just treat him as if he's invisible. Mine is only with you. As soon as she finished speaking, a gasp and exclamation arose from the crowd. Ms. Jie instinctively turned her head, seeing me coming towards them. At that moment, Yun. He always knew I was handsome, but he didn't expect I could be this handsome. Su Zhe pulled her sharply on the side. Sister. Ms. Jie suddenly came to her senses and quickly looked away, but her peripheral vision couldn't help but glance at me. Song Haochen saw her in this distracted state, unconsciously bit his teeth. Looking at me, his eyes were filled with gloom. After the initial amazement, many entrepreneurs came forward with champagne to greet. The banquet of high society is also a networking event among business elites to some extent, with Qian Company's top position in the Shenzhen market. Plus, I rarely appear in such occasions. I hadn't been there long. I was surrounded by the people present. Zheng Long looked at me, who was like the center of a star circle, then looked at the overlooked Song Haochen. Can't help but stand up and speak up for him. Those who know think this is my grandfather's birthday banquet. Those who don't know might think this is a personal party for Mr. Lu. As soon as Lu Nian arrived, he overshadowed everyone. Is it that he looks down on the Zheng family? Or is he just naturally attention-seeking? He deliberately raised his voice when he said that. This made the entire banquet hall fall silent in an instant. Those surrounding me all turned their heads. I wonder what kind of trick Zheng Long is pulling this time. Just then, someone said, isn't that Director Su from the company? A single stone can create 1,000 ripples. My relationship with Ms. Su is not a secret among the upper class of the stock market. She had quite a scene on Weibo yesterday. It's human nature to love gossip. Even those from wealthy families can't escape the norm. In no time, everyone's gaze unconsciously shifted between me and Ms. Su. A young man standing beside me couldn't help but retort. And you're still the supervisor? Didn't you see yesterday's news? This person has already been kicked out by Lu Dai. Ms. Su was publicly humiliated. Her expression suddenly turned cold. The slight affection she had for me just now vanished completely. Su Zhe hates seeing others mock his sister the most. He immediately grabbed Song Haochen's shoulder. He retorted sarcastically, "We should thank Lu Dai for his refusal to marry. Otherwise, how could my sister rekindle things with brother Haochen?" This action and these words drew everyone's attention to Song Haochen. Someone couldn't help but ask curiously, "You're talking about my cousin, right?" Zheng Long immediately stepped forward to introduce. His name is Song Haochen. He's the young master of the Song family in the capital. The Song family, one of the 10 prominent families in the capital. Someone exclaimed. What else? Zheng Long gave that person a look as if to say, isn't that obvious? And you all don't know, do you? My cousin's wife is also one of the top 10 families in the capital. The daughter of the Chia family. She is a perfect match for my cousin. No matter how capable someone is, they're still an orphan with unknown parents. I tightened my grip on the champagne glass. My gaze fell on the faces of a few people across the table. I smiled and raised the champagne in my hand. Miss Su indeed deserves Mr. Bu. After all, the illegitimate daughter is still part of the Su family. As soon as I finished speaking, the scene was immediately filled with murmurs of sympathy. The most important thing for a wealthy family is bloodline. The distinction between legitimate and illegitimate children is like heaven and earth. An orphan with unknown parents. Illegitimate children are looked down upon even more. They were still confused. If Mrs. Su is from the Su family, how could she be working under me? Suddenly realized everything. Su Lingyan's face looked as if she had been slapped. What's wrong with you? The corners of my lips curled up. Am I wrong in saying this? Su Zhe was readied and about to rush at me, but was suddenly pulled back by Xiang Long. After all, he still has to consider that this is his family's birthday banquet. He didn't want things to escalate beyond control. After all, his father is still outside. Lu Dai. Is that denigrating an ex is not the demeanor one should have. Song Haochen stepped forward with an easygoing demeanor. I know you still can't let go of Lingyan, but since you two have already broken up, you should give each other some dignity. What do you think? Mr. Song truly is a gentleman from a prominent family. This cultivated demeanor is indeed admirable. The smile on my face never fades. But if I remember correctly, she hasn't caused any trouble since coming here. He hasn't actively sought trouble with anyone. While Mr. Zheng is fighting battles for you, when you insulted me with your words, what are you doing? Why didn't you remind him to pay attention to his demeanor? Song Haochen's expression changed. Enough. Zheng Long protected Song Haochen. I think Mr. Lu would be overqualified just to be a potted plant. This mouth could be used to perform comedy, but don't you think you look a bit like someone who's embarrassed and angry? Or as my cousin said, Mr. Lu, you still have lingering feelings for my sister-in-law. As he spoke, he seemed to think of something and touched his chin. Didn't they say Mr. Luda has a new girlfriend? Why didn't he bring her this time? Zheng Long thought my so-called girlfriend was either fake, or far inferior to Ms. Su, acting smart and waiting for me to feel embarrassed, but didn't notice the sudden change in the faces of the Su brothers. I looked at Zheng Long with a smile that was not quite a smile. It seemed like I couldn't understand the implications of his words. She can't make it due to some matters. She really can't come. Still can't show her face. My ambiguous attitude further contributes to it. It has fueled Zheng Long's arrogance. Even someone as busy as Lu Chu can find time. Your new partner doesn't have time. Can't show her off. Me savored this. Couldn't help but laugh out loud. The positioning of my girlfriend. Mr. Zheng seems to understand better than I do. What are you pretending for? If she's really capable, let her come over. Zhilong was laughed at by me. No longer speaking in coded language. I've heard that Lu Dai used to take Lingyan wherever he went. Why has he switched to a new girlfriend now? People just hide it away. My sister-in-law is even an illegitimate child. How one also comes from a wealthy family. Lu sure won't be hurt by love. He might as well start to indulge himself. As his words fell, everyone present turned to look at me. Not watching the show till this moment. They are also curious about my new girlfriend. Especially since my behavior has indeed been somewhat concealed. Just then, the sound of high heels tapping on the floor came from the entrance, accompanied by a warm, laughing female voice. Miss. Some people say that being with Mr. Lu is a form of self-degradation. Upon hearing this voice, most of the people present were taken aback, while the Su siblings turned pale. Yun Mengyao walked up to me as if no one else was around. She took my hand. She said with a look of grievance, after being provoked this much, you still won't reveal my name. Am I really that unworthy? I stared at her blankly. Why did you come so early? Has the meeting ended? Yun Mengyao glanced at everyone. The meeting can be postponed. If my boyfriend is being bullied, I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself and will bury everyone here. Everyone present. If someone else were saying this, it would surely draw everyone's scorn. But it just so happens that she is Yun Mengyao. Long before seeing Yun Mengyao walk in, the crowd at the scene became unstable, managed by Gan Yunmeng taking over the family's branch here. The business leaders present have more or less seen her face, but Chang Jian came to tell them. They mistakenly thought Lu Yen had a girlfriend who was not present, which was Yun Mengyao, and her attitude towards Lu Yen simply left everyone astonished. After a long silence, the scene erupted in excitement. Lu Dai's girlfriend was actually Yun Mengyao. This was really well hidden. I thought someone like Miss Yun, even if she were dating, would be on a high pedestal, but she has this attitude in front of Lu Dai. Just now, Zheng Long even said he was self-indulgent. His girlfriend was not impressive. That's just laughable. Can an illegitimate daughter of the Su family even begin to compare with the Yun family's eldest daughter? The color of Su Lingyan's face, used for comparison, can no longer be described as difficult. Yet, she couldn't retort even a single word. In the past, she could rely on my affection. She would put on a brave front in front of Yun Mengyao. Now that I'm gone, she realizes that she is nothing in front of this person. Zheng Long's face also shifted from green to pale. However, more than anything, it was disbelief. Even more shocked than him was Song Haochen, who had barely spoken. Outsiders only know about the 10 major families in the capital, but no one knows better than him, who grew up in the imperial city, what the Yun family represents. The higher the family ranks, the more pronounced the differences become. Among the 10 major families, only the Xia family can compete with the Yun family. Even the Ji family, ranked third, has a chasm-like gap compared to these two families. Moreover, Yun Mengyao is the old master's late-born child, the only daughter of the family, is doted on by family members to no end. Such a person, he didn't even dare to think about it. At a time when everyone had different thoughts, Lu Zhe suddenly let out a cold laugh. You don't really think that just because two people are together, they can achieve a happy ending, do you? The people present were all taken aback. They all turned to look at me. Even the Song family cares about the background of their daughter-in-law. Do you think that as the number one family, the Yun family wouldn't pay attention to social status? Su Zhe looked at the book with sarcasm, then said, You think the Yun family would want someone from an orphanage? As soon as he said this, everyone felt some agreement in their hearts. But because Yun Mengyao and I were present, few dared to show it. Only Zheng Long, unafraid, chimed in. It's about looking at whether you're worthy in everything. Just luring someone in isn't a skill. If their parents don't agree, you still can't enter the door. It seems you know my parents better than I do. Yun Mengyao appears to be smiling, but there is not a hint of joy in her eyes. Whether I can pass the threshold is another matter. You two dare to talk like this in front of me? Is it that she thinks her life is too long? Xie Zhe and Zheng Long both recoiled. What do you want to do? Yun Mengyao frowned and spoke up. Slap him. Jiang Ting received the order. She immediately led her team forward to grab Su Zhe and Zheng Long. Slap. When the clear and crisp slap echoed, everyone was taken by surprise, until Su Zhe's cries of pain rang out. Su Wuyan finally rushed over with all her strength. What are you doing? Jiang Ting's usual nonchalance completely vanished. But the light is sharp like a freshly sharpened knife. Miss Su, today, I can't control my mouth. It's reasonable to learn a lesson. If you meddle too much, the suffering he endures will be more than just a bruised face. Do you understand? Ms. Su clenched her fists tightly. Blood vessels were dilated in her eyes. It's not that she's particularly worried about Su Zhe. Yun Mengyao's behavior is completely just trampling on her dignity. Compared to Ms. Su's struggles, Song Haochen seemed to not hear Zheng Long's screams at all, standing to the side, trying to diminish his presence. At that moment, everyone in the banquet hall didn't dare to breathe. All that could be heard were the sounds of slaps and two people's cries, until their faces became swollen from the beating, accompanied by a loud gasp from the doorway. What are you doing? Yun Mengyao only stopped at my signal. Zheng Long's eyes were swollen from crying. After seeing Zheng Guoqiang, she threw herself into his arms, feeling wronged. Dad, they hit me. They even dare to hit me in our territory. You have to avenge me, sob sob sob. Zheng Guoqiang is in a high position again. Seeing his son with a face swollen like a pig's head made him furious. Miss Yun, you have to give me an explanation for this matter. Yun Mengyao appeared calm. Rather than having me explain, you might as well ask your good son what he just said. Zheng Guoqiang looked at the intimate posture between Yun Mengyao and me. He glanced suspiciously at Zheng Long. When Yun Mengyao arrived, he already knew their relationship. He still remembers the scene of Zheng Long losing his temper at the door. If he said something inappropriate in front of Yun Mengyao, I'm afraid he wouldn't be able to protect himself either. Zheng Long felt a bit guilty. but he still couldn't swallow his anger. Relying on Zheng Guoqiang's presence, he shouted with a strong voice. No matter what I said, she has no right to treat me this way, right? And did I say anything wrong? Lu Yen came out of an orphanage. He just isn't worthy of being a son-in-law of the Yun family. Zheng Guoqiang immediately felt his vision go dark upon hearing this. However, he had not yet reacted. A cold and indifferent female voice came from the entrance. Even our young master from the Xia family isn't worthy of the Yun family. Then may I ask, who is worthy? Your store. Everyone turned their heads upon hearing the voice. They saw the young lady of the Xia family, Xia Wanning, walked in with a group of people. Many people in the banquet hall looked at the newcomer present, questioning the arrival of Xia Wanning. This is, unlike Yun Mengli, who often oversees the branch in Deep City, Xia Wanning has always been in the imperial capital. There are indeed not many people here who know her. But it's not that there aren't any. A deafening buzz filled Su Lingyan's ears. Young master of the Xia family, Yun Mengyao was also taken aback. Remembering what Xia Wanning said about her brother being just half a year younger than her, she looked at him again with a calm expression. There was not the slightest hint of surprise on his face. She couldn't help but feel puzzled inside. It wouldn't be such a coincidence. Xia Wanning didn't care what the people present were thinking. The moment the paternity test result came out, her heart was about to explode. She wished she could rush over immediately. People near the door automatically made way. Xia Wanning quickly walked up to my side. She hugged me tightly. Brother, I finally found you. Shen Bingbing, who came along, timely said. The paternity test result has come out. Congratulations, Lu Yen. You found your family. The expressions of the people present were quite remarkable. It's unexpected for Ping to attend a birthday banquet, to see so many good shows in succession. I was tightly held by Xia Wanning. I'm somewhat unaccustomed to this. Although this person is a blood relative of mine in the modern world, but we haven't really met that many times. Noticing that Xia Wanning is somewhat trembling slightly due to excessive excitement, I still couldn't bring myself to push her away. I could only look at Yun Mengyao with a sense of helplessness. Sure enough, Yun Mengyao's face was filled with frost. However, she didn't dare to move. After all, that's her sister-in-law. Jiang Qi weakly whispered in Yun Mengli's ear. Miss, if Mr. Lu is the son of the Xia family, your romantic path will probably have a few more stumbling blocks. Who doesn't know that the three sisters of the Xia family in the capital are all obsessed with their younger brothers? A child who has been stolen since birth is most likely in grave danger. But the Xia family hasn't given up for 19 years. The reward has been skyrocketing all along. The two sisters are almost ready to post missing person notices on their foreheads. Similarly missing. Their father didn't enjoy this treatment. They haven't even been seen looking for them. This shows how high his status is in the Xia family. Yun Mengyao shot a fierce glance at Jiang Ting. Shut up. Didn't you notice that my heart is already in turmoil? The one who enjoys the spectacle even dares to remind me. After this period of time, everyone present has more or less understood the situation. Those who don't understand have also been informed. Inquiries revealed Xia Wanning's identity. In a moment, the scene erupted into intense discussion. Su Zhe and Zheng Long felt a burning sensation on their faces. Not sure if it's from being beaten, or from the embarrassment caused by the ridicule at the scene. Zheng Guoqiang is worried for his son. Offended the two prominent families of Yun and Xia consecutively, and feeling anxious. The main issue is, their Zheng family still wants to cooperate with the Xia family. In the branch company in the Shenzhen market, after Xia Wanning calmed down a bit, she did not let go of the person. Her gaze subtly marked Yun Mengyao, conveyed a look that suggested she would settle the score later. She then turned to look at Zheng Guoqiang. I looked at a new project proposal from the branch office yesterday. It seems that General Zheng also participated in the bidding. Zheng Guoqiang's heart sank. His cheeks began to twitch involuntarily. Xia was anxious. No. Xia Wanning raised her hand to interrupt him. You should understand what I mean. The Xia family will not cooperate with those who bullied my brother. Please think wisely. Although she had already guessed this would be the result. After hearing Xia Wanning's words, Zheng Guoqiang still looked devastated. Zheng Long knew he had caused trouble. He nervously reached to tug at his sleeve. He was slapped by Zheng Guoqiang in return. It's all your fault. I thought about how you lost your mother when you were young. It's just a little after 7. As a result, you've become utterly spoiled. Xia Wanning had no interest in other people's affairs. He turned to look at Su Lingyan's brother and sister and Song Haochen. Under Xia Wanning's stare, Song Haochen suddenly felt a chill down his back. It's said that the young lady of the Xia family is cold and indifferent. But everyone knows she has a sore spot. It is her long-lost brother. So at the moment it was revealed that I am a young master of the Xia family. He tried hard to recall if he had done anything out of line. What he did shouldn't have been too extreme, right? Xia Wanning looked at the Su siblings with an icy gaze. On the way here, I checked on Ms. Chia. To return to the Chia family, Deceiving and using my brother's significant other. Climb up on his blood and sweat. You really are something. Even if she was furious. Xia Wanning spoke with an inherent elegance and composure. The more it is like this, Su Lingyan becomes even more uncertain about her thoughts. Su Zhe raised his hand to protect Su Lingyan behind him. With a swollen mouth mixed with blood, he muttered, "What do you want to do? Even if it's for use." It was Lu Yan who approached my sister first. If you don't believe it, ask her. He pointed at me with his hand. Xia Wanning asked me something according to her instructions. She just continued with what she had just said. I don't like to resort to violence. So you don't have to learn from Zhang. Moreover, the younger brother realized things early. The things you got from him have already been returned intact. I wouldn't go to the extent of wiping out 2 lost dogs. Su Lingyan and her brother both breathed a sigh of relief. However, the next moment, Xia Wanning said, "But, if you want to return to the Jia family, there is no way." Xia Wanning said this while glancing at the silent Song Haochen beside her. Want to marry into the Song family? That's fine. As long as the head of the Song family agrees. The Xia family will mobilize all their resources against the Song family. Before you become the daughter-in-law of the Song family, the Song family will be completely eradicated from the capital. At that time, let's see if the head of the Su family still recognizes you. Everyone present gasped in shock. Song Haochen seemed to have received a shocking blow. Although Xia Wanning was talking to Su Lingyan, he knew this was also a veiled warning to him. If he didn't give Su Lingyan this opportunity, he might still save the Song family. As a result, the Su siblings were completely stunned at this moment. Xia Wanning was completely cutting off their path back to the Su family. After Xia Wanning finished speaking, she didn't even look at the expressions of those present. She reached out and held on to me. Her gaze was so affectionate it seemed it could drown someone. "Xiaoyan, shall we go?" The technique of changing faces at this second. The people on site couldn't help but click their tongues. I stared blankly at her. She seemed still not to have come to her senses from what just happened. Since my rebirth, I have been experiencing the feeling of being with family. Although Aunt Fong used to take extra care of me, there are so many children in the orphanage. It's hard to focus too much energy on me. Speaking of which, this is the first time in my 2 lives that I experienced the feeling of having family support. It doesn't seem too bad, but it's just the name Xiaoyan. No one has called me that except Aunt Fong. Even Yun Mengyao calls me Lu Yan. While I was lost in thought, Xia Wanning called me again. Her eyes showed concern. I suddenly came to my senses and coughed lightly. Let's go. With things getting to this point, I can no longer stay to participate in any banquet. Xia Wanning and I both need to leave. Since Jinping is here to cause trouble, Yun Mengyao can't stay either. After Elle and I walked out of the Jing family house, I was about to introduce Yun Mengyao to Xia Wanning. I saw Xia Wanning had already turned her head. She looked at the other person with a forced smile. So the boyfriend Miss Yun mentioned is my younger brother. Yun Mengyao instinctively furrowed her brows. The corners of her lips stiffened slightly. Sister Wanning. Xia Wanning narrowed her eyes, reflecting a hint of danger. Not yet married. I'll allow you to call me sister now. Yun Mengyao looked at her pitifully. Sister Wanning. Xia Wanning wanted to say something else. The phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID and said to me, "It's a call from my mom." I was still a bit unaccustomed to Xia Wanning spoke to me in a sisterly tone. I was even less mentally prepared to talk to this life's mother. I consciously ignored Xia Wanning's hints in this regard. I just nodded and said, "You answer it." Xia Wanning sighed. She walked to the side and swiped to answer. However, the voice she heard was not her mother's, but her younger sister, Xia Qingning. "No need to call from our mom's phone. So you're not answering my calls, huh?" Xia Wanning pressed her thin lips together slightly. She replied without any psychological burden. "You kept calling me non-stop during the day. I found it annoying, so I blocked you." Xia Qingning was speechless. Yang Wanyun beside her anxiously reminded. "Quickly ask your eldest sister. Has the paternity test result come out? Is he your brother?" Xia Qingning was also eager to ask about her brother's situation. "I can only remember this debt for now. Did you hear what Mom said? Is the result out? Is he a brother?" Xia Wanning turned her head and glanced at me. "Yes." Xia Qingning suddenly stood up from the sofa. "The butler quickly prepares the helicopter." Yang Wanyun also heard Xia Wanning's response. Instantly overwhelmed with joy, she cried. "Finally found him. Heaven has eyes. Finally found your brother." "Wait a moment." Xia Wanning knew that Xia Qingning would explode upon hearing this news. Quickly spoke to calm her down. "You all should wait before coming. He might not be able to accept that he has a brother right now. When you come, just listen to him. Wait until I prepare him mentally. Then I'll take him back to the capital." Xia Qingning said excitedly. "Can you handle this? If not, let me take over." Xia Wanning said coolly. "Don't forget I'm still your sister." During Xia Wanning's phone call, Yun Mengyao held my hand with a wronged expression. It seems your sister doesn't want us to be together. I reassuringly held her hand back. Don't worry. She might have just found me. It's hard for her to accept right now. But no matter what, I will always stand by your side. Yun Mengyao reached out and hugged me tightly. A sly smile flashed in her eyes. As long as you don't leave me, I can handle anything. Jiang Ting rolled her eyes to the heavens. Why does she feel her own miss is acting unusually? The Xia family in the imperial capital. After Gui finished the call, Xia Qingming looked at her mother and asked, Mom, we've found my brother. Are we really not going to Shenzhen? She suspects that Xia Wanning is actually connected to her. Saying that just means she wants to be alone. To cultivate feelings with her brother first. Your sister is right. Although Yang Wanyun also wants to see her son soon. After hearing Xia Wanning's words, she still has many concerns. Your brother was taken away since birth. Who knows how much suffering he has endured over the years. He must resent us for not protecting him well. Let's not push him too hard. Let him digest this fact first. Wait until your eldest sister has done her preparatory work. It won't be too late for us to see him later. We've waited all these years. It's not a big deal to wait a moment longer. Now that mother has spoken up, Xia Qingming could only obediently nod. At this moment, Yang Wanyun retrieved the phone number of the third sister, Xia Xiaoxiao. Xia Qingming immediately reached out to cover it. 4. You need to call Xiaoxiao. Mother Xia asked in confusion. What's wrong? Mo still doesn't know this news. A mischievous smile crept onto Xia Qingming's lips. If I tell her the news that her brother is coming back, Mom wouldn't be afraid of her coming back to vie for affection. Mother Xia chuckled. You're overthinking it. The sister longs for her brother just as much as the two of you do. How could she possibly compete for his affection? Xia Qingming continued to gently lead her. What I mean is, Mom is not afraid that she will come back and compete with us for her brother's favor. After all, you know it too. That guy is really clingy. I guess once my brother returns, he'll be taken over by her. How will we build a relationship with our brother then? Mrs. Xia's expression has become serious now. After a moment, Ba Er nodded. What you said is wrong. What you said is right. Xiao Xiao finally took something to heart. Let's let her train outside for a while first. Deep City. A good banquet has turned into this kind of chaos. Jingguoqiang has no intention of holding another event now. After my group left, he smiled and dismissed the remaining crowd. Then he didn't even look at the few culprits present. He turned and went up to the 7th floor. Zheng Long looked at Su Zhe's pig-like face. He knew he couldn't be any better off either. However, when he saw the strands of hair that were not even a bit out of place on Song Haochen, he suddenly realized a problem. Cousin, when those people were bullying me just now, what are you doing? At least Su Lingyan resisted a bit for Su Zhe. To be honest, I was just standing up for Song Haochen. As a result, when I was getting hit, he just stood by, watching. Song Haochen's expression was a bit unnatural. I didn't ask you to say those things. Besides, that's Yun Mengyao. I just wanted to help you, but I was unable to do much. That's enough. Zheng Long shouted at him. You're just afraid of Yun Mengyao. You could help me call someone, right? Consider it me being blind and helping you for nothing. After saying that, he also turned to leave. In the blink of an eye, only Song Haochen and the Su siblings were left on the scene. Song Haochen was about to leave, when Su Lingyan raised her hand and grasped his wrist. Haochen. Even though she just called his name, Song Haochen understood what she meant. Lingyan, can you let me calm down first? Su Lingyan felt a sudden panic inside. Even though she had a premonition in her heart, she still wants to try to stay a little longer. We've overcome even Dad's challenge. Are you still afraid of a threat from Xia Wanning? Su Zhe chimed in as well. Yeah, brother-in-law. That person is probably just talking. The Song family has a huge foundation. How could it be so easily dismissed just by her words? Okay. Song Haochen shook off Su Lingyan's hand. Can you all stop making things difficult for me? If it's just a matter of background, my dad might still be willing to indulge me, but to put the entire Song family at stake, not to mention he wouldn't agree. I wouldn't agree either. Before Songshan City, my dad already chose a school abroad for me, to let me further my studies. I'm sorry. Let's break up. After saying that, she turned and walked out without looking at the siblings' expressions. After Song Haochen left, Su Zhe stomped his foot in frustration. There's really not a single reliable person. She then looked at Su Lingyan and asked, Sister, what should we do now? Does that mean we really can't go back to the Su family? Su Lingyan remained silent. Her expression fluctuated. After an unknown amount of time, she finally clenched her fists with determination. Now this is the only path left. Due to the existence of Xia Wanning, because of Xia Wanning's existence, my group chose not to return to the Yujing where Yun Mengyao was. Instead, we went to my residence in Qinhuan. Looking at the exquisitely decorated high-end villa, Xia Wanning felt a wave of comfort in her heart. Grateful that I am doing well now. I also dared not think about what my past life was like. However, upon seeing Yun Mengyao who followed in, she felt a warning alert rise in her heart. Just take them home and it's fine. What are you coming in for? This time, Yun Mengyao hasn't spoken yet. I held her hand and looked at Xia Wanning. I think I need to clarify something. Yun Mengyao is my girlfriend. And we have grown up now. We have the right to decide how to get along. If recognizing our relatives means interfering with our relationship, it would make her suffer. Just send Miss Xia back, please. You can see that too. I can live well without relatives. Yun Mengyao's heart trembled. Because I suddenly decided to be with her. The reason for being together is unclear. She has always cherished this relationship anxiously. When my relatives appear, she can be manipulative. And I would abandon her. But now, I actually won't even acknowledge my relatives for her. Doesn't that mean she holds a position in his heart that is even more important than relatives? If Yun Mengyao's current mood is like a warm spring in March, Xia Wanning's current mood is like the cold of late winter. Especially the way they called her Miss Xia. Her heart felt unbearably cold. However, beyond her heartbreak, she was more shocked. As far as I know, didn't you just break up with Su Lingyan? It has only been a few days. Your feelings for this guy are so deep. I don't expect others to understand. My sudden change of preference is hard to explain. After all, such shocking matters of past and present lives. Even Yun Mengyao is kept in the dark. How could I possibly explain it to others? In my past life, Yun Mengyao gave me the life-saving medicine. She wouldn't force me even a little. After I drank it, I was still dragging my already crumbling body. She avenged the grievances I couldn't settle. And she died for love with me. But where are my relatives? They didn't recognize me in their past lives. Although in this life, for some reason, I don't know, they found me. But their position in my heart cannot be compared to Yun Mengyao. I'm very sorry. I looked at Xia Wanning and replied. I still stand by what I said. If you want to acknowledge me, then please respect my choice. Xia Wanning took a deep breath. The path of being flexible and adaptable. Sister was wrong. Don't be angry. I didn't mean to make things difficult for her. So what Yen Yen means is, I won't interfere with you. You just agreed to recognize them as family, then it's the same as agreeing to acknowledge kinship. Right? I was choked up. I thought to myself, this person really knows how to take advantage of the situation. Xia Wanning saw me hesitating. And my heart started racing again. Xiao Yan, you know too. Mengyao can't possibly stay in the deep market forever. If you want to be with her, you'll have to come to the capital sooner or later. Yun Mengyao was taken aback. Am I being used by Xia Wanning? This guy just complained about me, and turned around to use that against me to acknowledge kinship. Truly Blackheart to the core. I slightly pursed my lips. I gave a slight press to my lips. I've thought about this question before. Moreover, the company I established is no longer what it used to be. Most of the key talents in the company are not locals from the Shenzhen market. I have long wanted to move the company to the capital. The timing was ripe in my previous life. Also to conveniently help Su Lingyan manage Tianyu. So, I moved the company to the capital. In this life, her relatives and loved ones are all in the capital. I have no reason not to move. Thinking of this, I nodded slightly. Wait for me for a while. To handle the company's relocation expertise. To receive my affirmative response. Xia Wanning immediately excitedly hugged me tightly. Sister, help me. Seeing this, Yun Mengyao's face darkened again. When Xia Wanning finally let go of the person, she declared as she took my hand. Her tone was far from pleasant. The servants in the house have been dismissed. Elder sister, find a guest room to sleep in by yourself. After saying that, she pulled me upstairs. Xia Wanning watched our figures. I felt a strange sense of melancholy. However, it didn't last long. She perked up again. Now, her brother is just a stranger to her, waiting to develop feelings. Once her position as an older sister is secure, she must make this girl look good. Yun Mengyao had no idea that she had already been resented by her sister-in-law. As soon as we entered the bedroom, she pressed me against the door and kissed me fiercely. I shook my head to evade her advances. What's wrong with you? Yun Mengyao lowered her head and rubbed against my neck. Her voice was distorted with grievance. I'm jealous. I was taken aback, then immediately laughed. That's my sister. Yun Menli's voice was sour. Then she's also a woman. I raised my hand and rubbed her head. She leaned in and kissed her like she was comforting a child. Are you feeling any better? Yun Mengyao licked her lips. She felt pleased inside but still put on a tough front. There is. How could I not understand her? But I still carried through with the indulgence. So what do you want to do? Yun Mengyao shyly looked at me. Do what I've been wanting to do this evening. The next morning. Rarely, I wanted to sleep in. But I heard a slightly urgent knocking at the door. Yun Mengyao wanted to open the door for me. But I pressed her back into the bed with one hand. I didn't even have to think to know who was outside. I could argue with Xia Wanning logically, not letting the other party interfere with us, but I couldn't manage to keep from blushing. Calmly, he told Yun Mengyao to open the door. I simply tidied myself up a bit. I opened the door and looked at Xia Wanning, asking, "Is there something you need, sister?" Xia Wanning froze for a moment. She completely forgot the words she was about to say. She stared at me in a daze. It seemed she couldn't believe what her ears were hearing. "What did you just call me?" I couldn't quite understand her excitement. "I thought it over yesterday. Since I've decided to acknowledge my relatives, there's no need to keep holding back. Otherwise, it wouldn't feel right how I address Xia Wanning." Thinking of this, I called out again without any psychological burden. The next moment, I found myself in her embrace. Xia Wanning's voice was filled with immense excitement and joy. "I'm here, sister." I let out a helpless sigh. I don't understand why this person loves hugs so much. Although her embrace lacked any affectionate color, it couldn't resist how jealous my household member is. I don't even need to turn around. I just know that the bed is jealous again at this moment. I clapped my hands and patted Xia Wanning's shoulder to change the subject. "What brings you to me?" Thinking about the purpose of my visit, Xia Wanning loosened her grip on me. Her expression also turned serious. "Su Minghui has passed away." Hong Minghui drank the drink. I was a bit surprised. "What?" Xia Wanning thought I didn't know the other person, so she explained a bit more. Jiang Minghui is the son of the original wife of the Jiang family head. He is also the half-brother of Jiang Lingyan. Of course, I know who Su Minghui is. But her passing was something I didn't expect. After all, he was alive in my past life. That person was still doing fine. Moreover, I even called him a couple of days ago. Suddenly hearing the news of his passing, I couldn't help but feel something. Thinking of this, I reached out and grabbed Xia Wanning's sleeve. How did she do it? The head of the Su family is intentionally covering it up. Xia Wanning held my hand, conveying its own warmth. But where in the world is there a wall that doesn't let the wind through? What can be confirmed at the moment is, he has done it with a woman at a club. The head of the Jia family probably also finds it embarrassing. That's why he is desperately covering it up. Although Xia Wanning spoke indirectly, anyone can understand what this means. Su Minghui is idle all day long, living a life of debauchery. It's only a matter of time before he is drained of vitality. But this time in his past life, the time hasn't even reached that level yet. Unless, Yun Mengyao came over after changing her clothes. She first glanced at my expression and then spoke to Xia Wanning. "You just cut off Su Lingyan's way back to the Su family." Turning around, Su Minghui drank. "This matter is not that simple." Xia Wanning frowned. "I also thought of that. But this matter was hidden with great effort even by the head of the Jia family. They even buried the person overnight without hesitation. It would be quite difficult to find evidence now. Moreover, when she mentioned this, she paused and turned to look at me. Su Lingyan and her 2 children have now been brought back to the Su family. Ever since I heard the news about Su Minghui, I anticipated that there would be such a result. For the head of the Su family, the most important thing is still the Su family's assets. Even if Su Minghui's death was very suspicious. Right now, only Jia Lingyan can inherit the Su family. Xia Wanning saw that my brows were furrowed. She gently raised her hand to smooth my furrowed brow. "Xiaoyan, don't worry. Those who bullied you, your sister will definitely not let them off. Even if she returned to the Su family, what could she do? It would only drag the Su family down with her into the grave. When we return to the capital, sister will help you deal with the Qi family." I shook my head and pulled Xia Wanning's hand down. "Sister, you shouldn't get involved in this matter. Whether it's dealing with Su Lingyan or the Su family, I can handle it myself. Yesterday was the first time I experienced the feeling of being supported by family, and so many people were present. So when Xia Wanning used threats to cut off Su Lingyan's escape route, I didn't speak up to stop it. But it's more interesting to vent my anger myself. Moreover, it's about such deep-rooted blood feuds. Otherwise, what is the meaning of my rebirth? Although I didn't expect Su Minghui's situation, if Su Lingyan really is that easy to deal with, I wouldn't have been in her clutches for 2 lifetimes. Thinking about this, a hint of excitement curled at the corners of my lips. Turns out I was worried Su Lingyan wouldn't be fun. Now this is going to be fun. Xia Wanning asked hesitantly. "Xiao Yan, is it really just an emotional issue between you and Su Lingyan? Is it really just an emotional issue?" I countered by kicking the ball back. "Sister, what do you think?" Before the other could respond, I sneered again. "As long as I'm here for a day, she won't be able to get what she wants. Even if she does get it, she will eventually have to spit it out." Xia Wanning turned abruptly to look at Yun Mengyao. However, she found that the other also looked confused. But both of them knew that the grievances between me and Su Lingyan are definitely not as simple as they seem on the surface. However, I had no intention of stating it explicitly. They also couldn't ask about it directly. In the following days, I was handling the procedures for the company's relocation. A week later, I took care of the related matters in Shenzhen. I returned to the capital with Xia Wanning and Yun Mengyao. Aunt Xia and Xia Qing both knew I was coming back today. They were so excited that they didn't sleep all night. During the day, they stayed home and went nowhere. Couldn't wait to check the time in just a few seconds. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A loud noise from a helicopter landing echoed in the garden. Mom Xia and Xia Qingming were anxious. Their hearts were suddenly filled with a refreshing sensation. They perked up and walked towards the garden. Xia Qingming's height and long legs stood out at this moment. She took a few steps and quickly left Mom Xia behind, ignoring her mother's resentment behind her. Xia Qingming hurried back home. Her eyes seemed to have a sparkle. She headed straight for me. I had just gotten off the helicopter. I hadn't even taken in the surroundings yet. Suddenly, a gentle breeze carrying a subtle fragrance hit me. Xia Qingming stepped forward and hugged me tightly. Sister, I finally see you. Hearing her call me sister, I couldn't help but move, and only then did I slightly let go of my hand. At the same time, she couldn't help but doubt in her heart. Is the Xia family's sisterly love a family tradition? Yun Mengyao looked at our tightly embraced posture. She clenched her fists again. Yang Wanyun arrived late, stepping on the soft lawn. Yen, let Mom take a look at you. Before coming, Xia Wanning had already told them my name. Plus, they hadn't had the time to name me yet. The child was taken away, so she just called me that. Xia Wanning looked at Xia Qingming displeased. Didn't you hear what Mom said? And you made Xiao Yan uncomfortable. Xia Qingming then let go of me. At the moment she saw my face, Xia's mother couldn't help but shed tears. She trembled as she reached up to touch my cheek. Look, this is Mom. A strange feeling of comfort rose in my heart. I thought I was facing family members who felt like strangers. I couldn't empathize. But seeing the woman in front of me in tears, I surprisingly wanted to reach out and wipe her tears away. This might be the bond of blood relation. When Mom Xia saw me silent, she walked forward with a heart full of sorrow and embraced me. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, it's your protection that kept you safe. All these years, you must have endured a lot of pain, right? I felt a bit at a loss and lightly patted her back. I'm fine. I've been doing well. Although I was small when I was in the orphanage, there wasn't much room for me to show my capabilities. Life was rather tough, but as I grew a little older, I was able to be self-sufficient. Mom Xia, taken aback by my response, suddenly burst into tears of joy, but she didn't quite dare to believe that I was really doing well. She thought I was just comforting her. She felt heartache and guilt for my understanding and thoughtfulness. In the past, Mom felt powerless. Fortunately, I've found you now. Mom will definitely compensate you double in the future. The same goes for my second sister. Xia Qingming took out a prepared gift and stuffed it into my hand. My second sister's supplementary card. There's no limit. The card has a password, so feel free to use it. She racked her brains these past few days but couldn't think of a gift. After all the useful things in life, Xia Wanning has almost provided everything. So it's better to give something simple for the meeting gift. Unlimited money is more substantial than anything else. Even if Xia Wanning was fully prepared, what difference would it make? From now on, my brother will use her card every time he buys something. Her second sister is still worried about not having a turnaround day. However, Xia Qingming's thoughts were quite wonderful. The card that was just issued was returned the next moment. I shook my head and said, no need. I'm not short on money. Xia Qingming thought I was too shy to ask. She shoved the card back into my hand again. Why are you being so polite with my second sister? I helplessly returned it once more. I'm serious. I really don't lack money. I wouldn't even use it if you gave it to me. Xia Qingming choked halfway to death. Seeing Xia Wanning's faint smile, I suddenly thought she had already given me another card. It was also my own idea. On the surface, he seems aloof, but inside, how could the big sister in black not think of it? In an instant, Xia Qingming's breath surged in her chest. She turned her head and glared fiercely at her assistant Zhang Qi beside her. This dumbass came up with this terrible idea. Zhang Ying swallowed hard. She felt like her head was in jeopardy. Mom Xia ignored the sister's obvious hints and unspoken words. She opened the wooden box she had been holding. She took out a jade pendant from it and put it around my neck. This is a gift prepared by Mom. Yen should wear it often in the future. I looked down at the pendant inlaid with an ancient jade. A sense of panic rose from deep within me. The kind of absurd and bizarre events happening to me. Bizarre and absurd things have happened to me. I also believe in certain things. I had visited some temples in my past life as well. If I'm not mistaken, this jade pendant that Mom Xia gave me, the pendant should contain the blood and hair of the other person. Jinsheng can help me ward off disasters, but all the bad will be transferred to the other person. I raised my hand to take the pendant off, but Mom Xia reached out and stopped me. Yen, please don't refuse Mom, okay? With Yang Wanyun's almost pleading and tearful gaze, I suddenly felt that the pendant in my hand was as heavy as 1,000 pounds. After a long time, I hoarsely replied 7 times. I will cherish it properly. As long as I don't let myself get hurt, it will be fine. Compared to the warm family of 3, Yun Mengyao, standing to the side, felt like an outsider. Since Mama Xia and Xia Qingming arrived, their gaze hasn't left my face. Of course, they noticed her. They would only think she's hitching a ride. At that moment, a cheerful and excited voice came through. I heard my son-in-law is back. Where is he? Upon hearing this voice, Xia Qingming and the others instantly furrowed their brows. Turning their heads, they saw Yun Mengyao's mother, Wu Shuman. She was walking over, holding her husband, Yun Ruiqian. Wu Shuman acted as if she didn't see her own daughter. She looked straight ahead, ignoring Yun Mengyao. Heading straight towards me. Is this my son-in-law? He looks quite remarkable. Xia Qingming quickly pulled her brother behind her, watching Wu Shuman and her husband with great vigilance. My brother has just been found. How could he be your son-in-law? I just remembered that I forgot to introduce Yun Mengyao. I quickly bypassed Xia Qingming and walked to her side. I took her hand and stepped forward. Mengyao, you should all know each other by now. I would like to introduce someone to you. She is my girlfriend. Wu Shuman suddenly couldn't stop smiling. Look at that. Even without us adults intervening to matchmake, Xiaocan and Mengyao still ended up together. This is what fate has destined. She already knew about our relationship before coming here. Otherwise, she wouldn't have immediately scolded the son-in-law upon arrival. Thinking this, she opened a brocade box. She took out a ring with an ancient design. It was a ring engraved with strange totems. She pulled my hand and tried to put it on. She happily mumbled as she did so. Here, a meeting gift for the daughter-in-law. Xia Qingming saw this ring, which symbolizes the Yun family's heritage. At the same time, surprised, she pulled me over. Xiaoyan, you are only 19 this year. Why are you so narrow-minded? Second sister will tell you. There isn't a single good woman. Don't be fooled by her. The girls present were all silent. I was also a bit speechless. I questioned doubtfully. Aren't you a woman too? Xia Qingming wasn't embarrassed at all. It's a classic case of hurting 1,000 enemies while harming yourself 800. Just because third sister is a woman. That's why I understand this. Second sister is worried you'll suffer, got it? Yan Wanyun shot a glance at Xia Qingming. Alright. Do you think everyone is like you? Exactly. Xia Wanning chimed in. That person from the Su family is a warning from the past. If you don't learn to restrain yourself, do you want to make mom a white-haired person sending off a black-haired one? Xia Qingming looked at Xia Wanning as if she were a monster. Younger brother is dating a girl. You actually don't oppose it. This guy has changed his ways. Xia Wanqing thought to herself that she of course opposed it. But the scene where I defended Yun Mengyao was still fresh in my mind. Moreover, after spending the last few days together, she discovered that I was pliable but not stubborn. She wouldn't be like Xia Qingming at all, jumping around in the minefield again. To the utmost, Yun Mengyao. Let her be proud for a while. Suppressing the malice deep down, Xia Wanqing showed a rather helpless expression. But those two are already together. We can't just break them apart, right? The urgent matter at hand is raising my brother's favorability. Let the villain be dealt with by my younger sister. Xia Qingming took a deep breath. She raised her hand to tug at her hair. Are you okay? Mama Xia was used to the confrontational scenes between the two sisters. Thinking of Xia Qingming's rudeness, she walked toward Yun Mengyao's family with a face full of remorse. Xia Qingming is straightforward and outspoken. I hope you don't mind. Little Ning. What you said is quite something. Wu Shuman didn't look unhappy at all. Do you think I would be the kind of person to argue with a child? And who doesn't know that these 3 sisters are all obsessed with their younger brother? It's completely normal for them to not accept it right away. They will adapt to it over time. Xia Qingming rolled her eyes. They have only been together for a short time. Who knows, they might break up tomorrow. Shut up, please. Yang Wanyun shot another glance at Xia Qingming. He turned to look at Wu Shuman and his wife and said, I have watched Mengyao grow up too. There are no issues with their character or nature. I have no objections. Wu Shuman joyfully hugged Mama Xia. I knew you were the best. The demeanor is just like that of young people with their close friends. The young ones acting cute are no different either. However, Mama Xia changed the subject. Xiao Yan has just been found, and hasn't spent time with the family yet. Moreover, the 2 children are still young. We don't plan to let him marry so early. This is killing me. I thought you wanted to say something. Wu Shuman laughed while patting her chest to calm herself. Do I look like someone who is unreasonable? All these years, I can see how much you want a child. I've noticed everything. How could it be that the moment Xiao Yan returns, your chance to be together as mother and son is taken away? And even if they get married, Meng Yao will still be living in your house. Meng Yao, who was clearly arranged, had a speechless expression. Mama Xia chuckled and glanced at the time. She turned and told the butler. to start preparing the banquet venue. Since Xiao Yan has returned, it's also time to hold the family recognition banquet. The butler immediately nodded. Yes, madam. Yang Wanyun looked at me again. Does Yan Yan have any friends she wants to invite? Mom had someone send over the invitation. I paused for a moment. I also know that such things are inevitable. I don't have too many friends in the capital. I still don't know if they will have time to come. I'll just call them and ask. Yang Wanyun nodded. Xia Wanning took out her phone. I'll contact the stylist to come over. Xing, I'll let Meng Yao go and loosen up a bit later. It's a pity to let delicious food go to waste. It's a pity to let Yan Yan's presents go to waste. Wu Shuman said this while placing a box containing a ring in the palm of my hand. I almost forgot. The gift for our first meeting hasn't been given yet. I don't know the meaning of this ring, but just looking at the quality, I can tell it's not an ordinary ring. I uncertainly looked at Yun Mengyao. I saw her give me a nod. Xia Qingning stood by, angrily wide-eyed. It also couldn't stop this exchange that resembled 1,000 arranged engagements. Seeing me accept the ring, the stone in Wu Shuman's heart instantly dropped to the ground. She quickly tugged at her own daughter, and smilingly said her goodbyes. We'll be back in a bit. After Yun Mengyao's family left, I followed my family back to the main villa. As Xia Wanning led me upstairs, Xia Qingning pulled her mother, who was about to follow, aside. Mom, how could you agree to let my brother be with that girl from the Yun family? You know what their family is like. She paused at this point, but the message was clear. If it weren't for this, she wouldn't risk being disliked by me. To strongly oppose them being together. Xia Mama's expression also turned a bit uneasy, but she still said, but Meng Yao is really a good child, and just as your sister said, those two are already together. I can't play the role of a love disruptor either. Xia Qingning was silent for a long time, her voice somewhat gritted. Whether that girl from the Yun family is worth it or not, still depends on her future performance. If she gets past this hurdle of mine, she'll have the whole Xia family backing her. I would be willing to protect them. If she can't make it, even if Xiaoyan hates me, I will still break up this couple. At this moment, I was completely unaware of the conversation between the two downstairs. After following Xia Wanning to my room, I was shocked by the sight before me as soon as I walked in. And if I hadn't heard Xia Wanning say this was a room, I would have thought this was an entire large flat. What surprised me even more was the plethora of everything one could possibly want in the wardrobe. Considering my current social status, I have certainly seen such things, but I wouldn't consider it a primary concern. The place for sleeping is so luxurious. Xiao Yan, this is arranged for you by your elder sister. Do you like it? As the helm of the entire Xia family wealth, Xia Wanning doesn't look like someone in a high position at all now. Staring at her own brother, she looks like a big cute pet seeking praise. I gave her a hesitant glance. Do you want me to change careers and open a mall? Xia Wanning couldn't help but laugh. She seemed surprised that I could joke too. She pointed at several rows of transparent cabinets and said, "This is the clothing area. You can check which one fits first. The shoes that go with the outfits are over there." She also pointed at the adjacent wall. Then she glanced at her watch. "I'll go ask the stylist when they will arrive." After saying that, she turned and walked out of the room. And she kindly closed the door. She ran into Yang Wanyun and Xia Qingning, who had come up together. Xia Wanqing paused her steps. Not knowing what she thought, she turned her head and glanced around. Xiao Xiao hasn't come back. That shouldn't be. Xia Qingning crossed her arms and replied seriously. I think Xiao Xiao has finally taken to heart one matter. So she didn't let mom tell her the news about finding her brother. To avoid worrying her. What does the eldest sister think? They are all foxes. How could Xia Wanqing not guess Xia Qingning's little thoughts? But this is exactly what she wants. Xia Wanqing reached out and patted Xia Qingning's shoulder, approvingly saying, "You are still very considerate." Meanwhile, at the border of Huagua, a woman dressed in black camouflage was chewing on a piece of foxtail grass. She held a rolled-up portrait in her hand. Should we go to Lingua next? The man beside her nodded. His eyes were filled with the weariness of travel. I don't know when we will be able to find the Lord's wife and children. A man with a scarred face gulped down half a bottle of water. He raised his hand and wiped his mouth. Isn't the lady of the Xia family from Huagua quite similar? Why not catch her and show her to the Lord? Are you stupid? The man holding the gun next to him hit the back of his head. The Lord has spoken. He only has one son. The Xia family has 3 daughters. No son. No matter how similar they look, it doesn't meet the requirements. What about that one from Deep City? The scarred man rubbed the back of his head and glared. That boy's eyes are quite similar to those in the portrait. As soon as he finished speaking, he was hit again. That boy is only 19 years old. Are you addicted to hitting people? How could you hit me so hard that I become foolish? The scarred man wore the fiercest expression while saying the most absurd things. What I mean is there a possibility he could be the Lord's son? Why don't we get some of her hair to take back? So you mean the Lord's wife is dead? Otherwise, how did he become an orphan? The man in black camouflage spat out the dogtail grass from his mouth. Moreover, the boy Xing has the same pair of eyes. If there are any similarities, we should do a paternity test. Wouldn't that just expose the Lord? The man said as he unfolded the portrait again. What era is this? Are we really using portraits to find people? If there was just one photo, it would make it easier for us to find them. Let's go, let's go. The Lord has been hypnotized. He can remember that he has a wife and children. Drawing a rough outline would be good enough. Instead of complaining here, it would be better to hurry up and search. Before long, it was evening. The entire Xia family was brightly lit. The servants and subordinates each performed their duties. They were busy non-stop. The banquet venue was set up in the outdoor garden. A long table was draped with a white cloth. On the table, there were all kinds of exquisite pastries. There was a champagne tower that changed colors with the lighting. Vivid and blooming flowers lined both sides of the red carpet. It extended outward from the archway. The entrance was adorned in breathtaking beauty. The entire banquet venue was filled with a joyful atmosphere. It was not lacking in elegance, either. As the time approached, one luxury car after another parked outside the Xia family's residence. People from the elite circles of the capital flocked over. The Xia family's status was clearly established. The main guest had not yet appeared. More than half of those who received the invitation had already arrived. The people on site were chatting and laughing. Of course, the conversation was all about this newly acknowledged young master. I really didn't expect that the Xia family could find this child again. Has anyone seen what he looks like? Who knows, right? But I think it's best not to get too high hopes. How do you say it? Isn't the cautionary tale of the He family right there? The biological son they found is backward and ugly. He can't even use a knife and fork. His demeanor gives off a feeling of being a provincial and unsophisticated person. After the family reunion banquet, the head of the He family didn't let that child go out again. He took his adopted son wherever he went. This boy from the Xia family has been wandering in society since birth. He probably isn't as good as the He family's child. My brother isn't as terrible as everyone says. A young man in a light blue suit approached while holding a champagne glass. It's not that Dad didn't take her out. It's just that he doesn't like crowded occasions. The person who came was none other than He Chaoyu, the adopted daughter of the He family, talking behind people's backs, only to be overheard by others. The few people present looked somewhat ethereal, but this person didn't seem angry at all. It wasn't stepping on oneself. He Chao Xiong certainly isn't angry. Moreover, young Master Xia might not be as unbearable as everyone says. What exactly is he like? We'll find out when he appears. His words, which seemed to defend, were just for show. It actually brought up the topic that had just been extinguished by the audience. Just when everyone was speculating about how refined or unrefined this young master from the Xia family was, the sound system suddenly switched the melody, accompanied by the gentle yet authoritative voice of Mama Xia. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Everyone turned their heads at the sound. Saw Mom Xia and Wu Shuman. The two of them were leading a boy over. On the other hand, the others from the Xia and Yun families followed behind the three like bodyguards. The close relationship between the Xia and Yun families in the upper-class society of the capital is no secret. Therefore, the appearance of both families together, the people present did not react with surprise. However, seeing the true appearance of the young master of the Xia family, everyone became unsettled. Even a long time after both families made their entrance, there was hardly any sound in the venue. The moment they saw us, everyone present couldn't help but hold their breath. The crowd was dazzled and mesmerized for a long time. When they finally came to their senses, it instantly erupted into chaos. This is the young master that the Xia family just retrieved. He's just too handsome. Not just in looks. His aura is also outstanding. Who just said he was uncouth and ugly? Talk about a slap in the face. The young masters present were all raised in wealthy families. None of them seemed to outshine the young master of the Xia family. Hearing the mixed information among the crowd's exclamations, Yun Mengyao and my two older sisters narrowed their eyes. And the wealthy families that were used for comparison. Many of the young masters had grim expressions. When I first made my entrance, they were incredibly jealous. Not to mention being publicly pointed out and put down like this. He Chao Xiong, on the other hand, appeared to be genuinely appreciating the situation with grace. Looking at my handsome face that had an aggressive edge, he smiled and praised. Young Master Xia truly is impressive. The moment you showed up, all of us brothers felt inadequate. As soon as he said this, someone teased him. Our great talent felt inadequate too. As for looks and demeanor, young Master Xia really cannot be rivaled. But when it comes to floral art, there's no one in the entire capital who can compare to you, right? A young man with dyed pink hair chimed in. Our Chao Gu is truly Hall of Fame level. An apprentice of the legendary Qin player Wen Song He. He became the vice president of the capital's Guqin Association at a young age. And he's not relying on looks to get by. The people around him were utterly shocked. He Chaoxiong is a disciple of Wen Songhe. They have known about this matter for a long time. However, he is the vice president of the Imperial Capital Guqin Association. He Chaoxiong smiled a bit shyly and said, I was just elected not long ago, mainly thanks to the president's favor and the support of the members. But in terms of Guqin skills, I am still far behind compared to my master. How old is your master now? Besides, he is a national treasure in the Guqin world. Who can compare to him? Having achieved this at your age is already impressive. That's right. Being promoted means that young master his Guqin skills have improved. You have to show us your skills. I haven't heard you play the Guqin in a long time. The last time I heard you play was at the Liang family's birthday banquet. He Chaoxiong quickly waved his hand. QQ, today is young master Xia's banquet. Avi, how can I steal the spotlight? If we are going to perform, Vi, it must be young master Xia himself who comes. As he spoke, he turned to look at me. However, he seemed to realize he had misspoken and bit his lip. His tone was slightly uneasy. Young master Xia has such an excellent demeanor. He must have some talent to back it up. After he finished speaking, the expressions on the faces of the Yun and Xia families were somewhat unpleasant. Xia Qingning narrowed her eyes and glanced at He Chaoxiong. Then, as if amused by her anger, she looked at Xia Weining. Elder sister, have I been too easy to talk to lately? Some people even dare to provoke my brother. When she truly gets angry, her voice is often very soft. Therefore, aside from the Yun and Xia families who are close by, not many others heard it. But her faint voice carried a heavy pressure. It signified the silence before the storm. I gently squeezed her hand to reassure her. Then I turned to look at He Chaoxiong. I do have some talent to back it up. But what he excels in the most is the Guqin. Does this young master have an interest in listening? Xia Qingning stared blankly at her own hand. I was so excited that I didn't even hear what I said clearly. Brother did he just hold my hand? She didn't hear it clearly. The people present heard everything very clearly. For a moment, everyone perked up. This is the rhythm of something brewing. He Chaoxiong raised an eyebrow. His expression, however, seemed somewhat indifferent. Young master Xia said you excel at the Guqin. I chuckled. Is there any problem? Of course there isn't. He Chaoxiong looked as if he regretted not meeting sooner. I usually find it very difficult to find someone who understands me. Knowing that young master Xia is also a connoisseur, I was so surprised that I couldn't react in time. I originally didn't plan to show off in young master Xia's domain. But hearing young master Xia say he excels at the Guqin, I felt a little itch of excitement. Young master Xia, would you be willing to spar with me? I also furrowed my brows. Scholars take things seriously. In my past life, I was born into a military family. However, my mother came from a scholarly family. When I was hailed as the #1 talent in the capital, this person's ancestors probably weren't even born yet. It was different from what I had thought. At the moment He Chaoxiong mentioned wanting to spar, the people on site began to worry for me. After all, in their eyes, He Chaoxiong is already a person of high status and popularity. Sparring with him is like seeking death. They thought, as long as I'm not foolish, I should be able to decline. However, the next moment, they heard me say to He Chaoxiong, then I will have to be disrespectful. It turns out this person is truly overestimating himself. Such a handsome face is being wasted. Mama Xia and Wu Shuman looked at me in confusion. Xiao Yen. I gave them a reassuring glance and then asked, do we have a Guqin at home? Xia Weining was at a loss for words. Big sister didn't know you could play the Guqin. So I didn't prepare for this. Xia Qingning gave her a look that said, what good will that do you? At the same time, her mind started to become active. The gift she was rejected with in the afternoon almost became a burden on her mind. Now, a new idea should come up. Thinking of this, she took out her phone and sent a text to Zhang Ying. He Chaoxiong saw the interaction between the few of them. Afraid that I would use not having a Guqin as an excuse to say forget it, he quickly suggested. That's simple. The He family isn't too far from here. I just had someone bring my Guqin over. After finishing his sentence, he turned around and made a phone call. The efficiency of the wealthy is also high. Before long, a Guqin that sparkled all over was delivered. But Chaoxiong held the Guqin. With great care, he placed it on the temporarily prepared table. He turned to look at me. Young master Xia, who should go first? I propped my chin up. Chin Sua Van Ban. Then I'll show my clumsiness first. He Chaoxiong slowly took his seat. His fingers lightly rested on the Guqin, plucking the strings. He truly exuded the aura of a gifted scholar. The eyes of everyone present were focused on him. They silently speculated what he would play. It was only when a series of melodic notes flowed out that they knew what piece he was going to play. They became excited. It was Fumo, the famous piece by Wen Songhe. This piece is really beautiful. Even I, someone who doesn't know much about Guqin, often listen to it. His playing has indeed improved compared to before. I used to think this young player, Fu Fei, had some rough edges. Now he is already so skilled. No wonder he was promoted to vice president of the Beijing Guqin Association. This piece is one that few people can master. Young master, he can play to this extent. He truly deserves to be the only successor of Wen Songhe. He Chao Xiong listened to the praises from the crowd. The corners of my lips couldn't help but lift upwards. Playing the qin alone makes it even more impressive. With jewels and jade in front. This young master of the Xia family is quite something. Once again, someone is worried about me. Is there still a need to spar? Coming in with a trump card right away. This really leaves no room for anyone to perform. Young Master Xia, maybe you should just not compete. We won't make fun of you. After all, we all know how strong young master he is. Everyone present has been influenced. Young Master Xia probably doesn't understand either. Only hastily agreed to a spar. It's perfectly normal to withdraw now. Someone kindly advised me to withdraw. Although Mrs. Xia and the others are angry, they also hope that I can give up. The calmest at the scene must be me and Yun Mengyao. The reason Yun Mengyao is calm is that she believes I don't take fights I can't win, even though she has never seen me play the Guqin. In contrast, I seem more dissatisfied than calm. I appear more like I'm unhappy. Even my brows are slightly furrowed. However, this expression of mine appears as nervousness to the people present. After a piece of music is finished, He Chao Xiong raised his hand to wipe the sweat that had oozed from his forehead. He let out a shallow breath. Then he turned to look at me standing beside him. Young Master Xia, do you want to continue? This statement clearly shows that he heard what everyone just said. It's okay if you don't want to play. The piece I played today can be considered a congratulatory gift for your return to the family. As soon as he finished speaking, I furrowed my brows and said seriously, first of all, you played a note wrong. Secondly, this piece needs to be played with emotion. You can't just pursue technique and proficiency. Most importantly, the tone of this piece includes oppression. Elements like sorrow, grace, intensity, and calmness. You're playing too cheerfully. There's a lack of respect for this piece. My words landed heavily. The whole place fell silent as a chicken. He Chaoxiong was left speechless for quite a while. Then he seemed to be amused by his anger. He said with a slightly harsh tone, it seems young Master Xia knows quite a bit. Even my master would nod in approval. The performance you're talking about was utterly worthless. Without waiting for the other party to reply, I immediately asked again. Everyone has their own understanding. I won't refute what you said for now. But when you say I played a note wrong, I ask you, which note did I play wrong? I didn't mind his exasperation. I pointed out his mistake seriously. At the slow transition point, it's not a plucked open string across 3 strings. It's the 3rd string that changes in position, and it produces a subtle sound in coordination with the left hand. He Chaoxiong listened to what I said, and he knew that I indeed understood a bit about the Guqin. But he dismissed the mistakes I pointed out. I have practiced this piece not less than 1,000 times. I've probably done it 800 times as well. Aside from my master, no one is likely to be more familiar with this piece than I am. The place young Master Xia mentioned is the arpeggio of the 3 strings, not the harmonics you're talking about. This is my piece. Moreover, I composed it in my previous life. How could I possibly be mistaken? I let out a cold laugh. Wrong is wrong. This section uses the arpeggio of the 3 strings. You should listen yourself. Is the pitch and emotional transition appropriate? If old man one plays like this, then he is wrong as well. Once I finished speaking, everyone present chuckled. They immediately burst into laughter. I didn't hear that wrong, did I? Young Master Xia actually questioned old man Wen. Truly, a young calf is not afraid of a tiger. Those who dare to question old man Wen's mistakes are probably few and far between, aside from young Master Xia. Mama Xia and Wu Shuman exchanged a glance. Everyone seemed at a loss for words. After all, they don't understand the Guqin. Moreover, I question whether Wen Songhe actually played it wrong. It is indeed a bit unexpected. Yet, there is someone like Xia Qingming who loves to stir up trouble. My brother says that if it's wrong, it's wrong. What's wrong? Do you have any objections? As he said this, he glanced over. That cold gaze made everyone immediately fall silent. He Chao Xiong also had a look of wanting to laugh but not daring to. Shi Shiran stood up and looked at me, saying, if young Master Xia doesn't want to perform on stage, we won't force you. There's really no need for this. And you say I'm alright. But my master's status today is something everyone can see for themselves. To doubt his ability is really somewhat disrespectful. It is indeed a bit disrespectful. For a moment, the people present looked towards the skilled ones. Their gazes were filled with an indescribable admiration. These were comparisons that they did not dare to make. The automatic exit isn't a big deal. Besides, they all gave me a step down. Because if it stops, they just randomly look for trouble. They even mock Elder One. Not only are they narrow-minded, but they also appear foolish. However, these people only think about it in their hearts. Who would dare to say it out loud? Yet there are a few reckless young masters who echo the sentiment. I wondered why he kept fixating on this. It turns out it was because he heard Brother Chow play too well. They don't dare to go on stage. They don't dare to go on stage and say it outright. They even try to take the spotlight from Elder One, who is unrivaled in the Guqin world. They truly don't know what it means to understand one's place. As soon as this person finished speaking, the members of the Yun and Xia families all suddenly looked grim. And Xia Qingning looked at that person. Her gaze was more like she was looking at a dead person. However, before she could react, the butler hurried over with small steps. Madam Wen Songha has arrived. This announcement stunned everyone present. They immediately began to whisper. When the Xia family invited Wen Songha, they probably didn't expect that their newly acknowledged son would be so fierce. Now, there will be a good show to watch. The whispers of the onlookers still echoed. They wouldn't reach the ears of the Xia family, but from their expressions, it was clear they weren't saying anything good. Xia Mama was feeling anxious. She hadn't invited Wen Songha. So, the one who had invited him must be. At this thought, she glanced at me inquiringly. I gave her a reassuring look. I also indirectly confirmed that this person was indeed invited by me. However, Xia Mama was not comforted. Her son's earlier words were still fresh in her mind. Surely, it would be brought up with Wen Songha later. At that time. Sure enough, as Wen Songha entered everyone's view, He Chaoxiong approached him with a beaming face. Master. Wen Songha lightly nodded at him. Then he continued to walk towards me. However, he hadn't taken 2 steps. He Chaoxiong came up close again. Master. I just played his famous song, Fu Fei Ren, at the banquet. The young master of the Xia family insisted that I played it wrong. Not only did he say that about me, he also said you were wrong. Yang Miaoyan closed her eyes in disbelief. When she opened them again, they were filled with sharpness. Xia Wannin and the others also looked at He Chaoxiong with cold expressions. It seemed that no matter what happened next, they would firmly stand by my side, not allowing me to suffer even a bit of grievance. Only my gaze remained calm without the slightest ripple, even carrying a hint of barely perceptible mockery. He Chaoxiong thought that after saying all this, Wen Songha would be furious, or he would rudely mock me. However, Wen Songha was taken aback for a moment. He then asked nervously, what did he say wrong? He Chaoxiong blinked. For a moment, he was somewhat taken aback. It was not until Wen Songha asked again. I just repeated the mistakes I made. Next, everyone saw Wen Songha with a serious expression. People walked towards the guqin set up in the banquet area. After taking their seats, they raised their hands to play that note. They played both variations once. They then repeatedly played a section of the piece that connected the previous and following parts. Then he showed a look of enlightenment. He then got up and walked around the bewildered He Chaoxiong. With an anxious expression, he walked towards me. Xia Qingning thought Wen Songha was going to do something to me. Her eyes narrowed, and her aura was fully unleashed. Xia Wanning quietly stood in front of me as well. Old man Wen. Master, I'm sorry. I remembered that part incorrectly. Please don't be angry. Wen Songha looked like a student who had made a mistake. He was slightly hunched over and looking down. He stood in front of me, very nervous. He looked like he was waiting for his punishment. Xia Weining was speechless. Xia Qingning was also speechless. The others from the Yun and Xia families were the same. He Chaoxiong and the onlookers were all confused. Silence. Dead silence. After Wen Songha called me master and apologized, the scene was engulfed in a dead silence. It wasn't until I heard Xia Weining clear her throat and move aside from in front of me, that everyone finally snapped out of their shock. Then, it was like a rebound of excitement. What did I just hear? Old man Wen actually scolded the young master of the Xia family. Moreover, from the tone of his voice, he really did play it wrong. The national treasure level guqin stood before young master Xia. It was rather showing a posture of utmost respect. I must be having problems with my eyesight. The guests in the banquet hall were cheering joyfully, one louder than the other. In contrast, He Chaoxiong, who had recently become my direct disciple, had a rather unpleasant expression. However, compared to feeling embarrassed, he felt more disbelief. His master, who was almost godlike, turned out to be his disciple. This world must have gone crazy. The people from the Yun and Xia families seemed far from calm at that moment. Just a moment ago, they were so angry. At this moment, they were equally proud. Wu Shuman even stepped forward to pat my cheek. Xiaoyan, you are really amazing. Did that girl from our family really climb too high? No matter what the people around said. When Songha did not straighten his bent back, it seemed he wouldn't rest until he received my criticism. I raised my hand and held Wu Shuman's hand to pull it down. With an indifferent expression, he replied to Wen Songha. It's nothing if I remembered it wrong. Your judgment in choosing disciples is really poor. What is the tone of this piece? I think you should be clear about that. You still accepted his performance, which was that bad. When Songha was trembling in fear as he received my scolding. When he heard me say that he accepted He Chaoxiong, Jean showed a hint of confusion. He thought carefully for a moment. Then he shook his head like a rattle. Master. That was not an endorsement of him. First, his previous performance was truly terrible. He couldn't even play the entire piece smoothly. Now, he has finally shown some improvement. I only nodded slightly then. Because my master had told me, even the dullest disciple needs appropriate encouragement. You taught me this back then. He Chaoxiong had a face full of terror. The people present burst into laughter, listening to the reckless laughter of those around him. He Chaoxiong felt like he wanted to find a crack in the ground to hide in. He was so proud when he provoked me. Now he regrets it so much. However, regarding everything happening before him, he still felt like he was in a dream. How old can the young master of the Xia family be? How could he possibly be his master's master? Just then, a young master stepped forward and grabbed He Xiaoxiong's arm. He looked at everyone at the scene and sarcastically said, "You bunch of fairweather friends should just give it a rest. Didn't you also just mock young Master Xia?" Seeing the situation turn around, they all started backtracking. How could they shamelessly drink? The ones who were mocking were silenced by what he said. They instantly shut their mouths. One by one, their faces became awkward. At this moment, He Xiaoxiong seemed calm again. Finally, he snapped back to reality after the blow. He took a step forward and walked towards Wen Songha. "Master, you're joking, right? How old is young Master Xia? How could you possibly take him as your master? And how many years has your famous song been out? It's always been played like this. How could it be wrong just because he said so?" Wen Songha's expression darkened instantly at his words. "There are always people better than you out there. You are the only one allowed to succeed at a young age. Others are not allowed to be more talented than you. You ask me why, and it's because I doubt myself based on my master's words. Because he wrote this piece." After speaking, he turned away and returned to his humble demeanor. "Master, I don't know why this rebellious disciple would disrespect you. But don't worry. From today on, he will no longer be my disciple." Once those words were spoken, He Chaoxiong's face turned even paler. He looked at me in disbelief and said, "Young Master Xia is quite young. And his skill in Guqin is even greater than my master's. Oh no, it's even higher than Wen Lao's. Shouldn't he show everyone a thing or two? Prove your own strength." As soon as he finished speaking, the people at the scene suddenly gasped. They admired He Chaoxiong's boldness from the bottom of their hearts. This clearly insinuated that Wen Songha was being selfish, questioning that all of this was a play he staged with young Master Xia. Everyone else could hear the underlying message. How could Wen Songha not pick up on it? He immediately became furious. "Are you questioning me about lying? I've already reached this position. As for doing something that tarnishes my reputation." But Chaoxiong had a sense of, if the pot is broken, let it be broken. The Xia family is wealthy and influential. Who can say for sure about such matters? Moreover, is there anything wrong with what I've said? Wen Songha was almost laughing out of anger. He wanted to say something, but I stopped him with just a glance. "Since I've promised to perform, of course, I won't refuse to play." After saying that, I walked towards the Guqin placed aside. "I'll play a piece of Fugitive as well. I'll teach you how to play it, by the way. So how exactly should this piece be played?" But Chaoxiong's expression turned grim. Wen Songha, on the other hand, instantly brightened up, shaking off the earlier gloom. His eyes and eyebrows were filled with excitement. "I want to hear Master play Fugitive one more time. Even if I'm bitten by a white-eyed wolf, it's worth it." Chaoxiong, who was criticized as a white-eyed wolf, looked even more displeased. But until now, he still couldn't believe that I truly had such high skills. Just as I was about to take my seat, my body was suddenly supported by Xia Qingning. "Wait a moment, little brother. We don't play with that brain-dead instrument. We'll use the one your second sister bought for you." Chaoxiong, who was again labeled as brain-dead, wore a helpless expression. I looked at her in confusion. It was as if she was asking where the Guqin you bought is. Xia Qingning glanced at her watch. "Why is Zhang Ying so slow?" As soon as she finished speaking, a panting voice from the back of the crowd called out, "I bought it, second miss. Second miss, I have bought it." The people present quickly made way. Assistant Zhang Ying ran over, handing the Guqin she was holding to Xia Qingning. Xia Qingning placed the one she bought on the newly cleared table. She kindly turned to me and said, "Time is rather tight. So I bought a Guqin first. Later, second sister can have someone customize a welcome gift for you." I was just about to say it wasn't necessary. After playing this time, I don't even know when the next time will be. But seeing the affectionate look in Xia Qingning's eyes, I decided to hold back my words. "Thank you, second sister." Xia Qingning stumbled slightly. Grateful that she had already set down the Guqin, she asked in a daze, What did you call me, little brother? Without waiting for my response, she turned around and grabbed Xia Wanning by the neck, shaking her wildly. My younger brother called me second sister. Xia Wanling darkened her face and pulled her wrist away. Get lost. The crowd at the scene was dumbfounded. They seemed unable to imagine that the fierce Xia, second miss of the Xia family, would have such a side. However, as I took my place in the shop, their attention was drawn back again. Upon learning that I was Master Wen Songhe, although they didn't question the authenticity like He Chaoxiong, they were still very curious about what my guqin playing would be like. I hadn't touched the strings for a long time, but I wasn't the least bit flustered under everyone's gaze. After a simple adjustment, I gently pulled the strings with my 10 fingers. It felt as if everyone's heartstrings trembled in response. As a series of sorrowful notes flowed out, the remaining noise at the scene quieted down. I, with a focused expression, played the guqin beneath my hands. My heart seemed to travel through time and space. It returned to the ancient First Era. It was late autumn, and the border fights were urgent. My brothers have been silent for several months. However, there was no imperial decree. I was still young and could only wait at home with my mother. It was at that time I was filled with worries and hopes for the victory of the war. Composed this piece of music. The initial melody was mournful and low. It sounded like the lament of the autumn wind. It lingered softly in everyone's ears. Everyone listening to the music felt a heavy sense of oppression. It seemed that the modern Xia family's garden was no longer in front of me. Everyone held their breath. There was a tense feeling as if we were about to head to the battlefield in the next moment. The sound of the zither shifted once again. It carried the momentum of thunder and power. It seemed to resonate with the earthy shouts of the soldiers at the front lines. My fingers plucking the strings moved quickly like a series of silhouettes. I don't know how long it has been, but suddenly there was a buzzing sound. It seemed to be signaling something. The horn of victory in the war sounded. Our troops pressed their advantage and pursued the enemy. We reclaimed lost territory and struck hard at the defeated. The people at the scene were already incredibly excited. Everyone's face was beaming with the exhilarating smile of victory. It felt as if the victory belonged to them. As the last gentle and serene note faded away, I finished playing the guqin. However, the people at the scene still maintained their original positions. Their expressions clearly still immersed in the sound of the guqin. They had not come back to reality. Yun Mengyao stared at me with a dazed expression. A certain speculation in my heart was almost ready to break through. At the back of the crowd, there was also a gaze that stood out from the others. It shot over the heads of the crowd and firmly fixed on my face. Su Lingyan knew that the Su family could receive the invitation. It must have been without my and Xia Wanning's knowledge. So ever since she arrived, she tried her best to reduce her presence. She didn't even allow things like her mother and brother, who were like ticking time bombs, to come along. When she saw me make my stunning appearance once again, she couldn't quite explain what she felt inside. She didn't think she would fall in love with anyone. Compared to power, love felt too ethereal and elusive. Therefore, that bit of desire deep in her heart was probably also because she didn't expect my background, thus losing such a powerful ally as the Xia family. But when she heard me play this guqin piece, a hidden pain arose within her again. It felt as if she had once lost something important. She remembered I had said that we had some ancient past life connection. At the time, she thought it was just a joke. Could it actually be true? Of course, I couldn't have missed Su Lingyan. I don't really care if the other party will embarrass themselves, but forcing people to leave on sight will definitely arouse suspicion and inquiries from the crowd. This would add unnecessary gossip to the high society of the capital. Xia Wanning probably thinks the same way I do. That's why she didn't provoke the other party. As long as the other party behaves at the banquet, we can temporarily pretend she doesn't exist. My numb fingers gradually returned to feeling. I stood up and shot a cold glance at He Chaoxiong. Have you learned it? This voice seemed to have flipped some sort of switch, and the people at the scene suddenly regained their senses. But they later realized it and got goosebumps all over. Damn! Incredible! It's simply shocking. This isn't just listening to music. It's like showing me an ancient war epic. I've never had this kind of immersion even in a theater. When young master he was just shouting about old man Wen's schemes. How could he still look like an artist at all? But it's also thanks to his relentless pursuit that we are able to hear such an astonishing guqin performance. Listening to the pervasive sarcasm from the people around, He Chaoxiong's face went pale once again. As a member of the guqin community, he knows better than anyone except Wen Songhe how stunning my previous performance was. It turns out I was the one unaware of my own limitations. Yang Wanyun looked at her son with warm eyes. Proud of me, at the same time, she regretted missing out on so much related to my growth. The people on site were still praising endlessly. I don't know who said. If I'm not mistaken, young Master Xia is only 19 this year, right? Just recently turned adult, and has such high accomplishments in the guqin community. It's simply unbelievable. So young. Isn't he still in school then? Yang Wanyun suddenly remembered that she had not asked me about my studies. Xiaoyan's student status should still be in Shenzhen, right? After today. Mom, had someone rush you over? I said with a bit of amusement. I have already graduated. Upon hearing this, Mom Xia was taken aback. The others present also paused their conversations. You look at me. I look at you, and we both have unusual expressions. One young master covered his mouth and laughed. Graduating at 19. That's high school graduation. Middle school graduation. Or elementary school graduation. When I made my entrance, some wealthy young masters were incredibly jealous. After I showcased my talent and slapped He Chao Song in the face, these people, while feeling jealous, had a strong alarm ringing in their hearts. Compared to them, the resources I've had since childhood have been limited. Yet I returned and stole the show. Where could they put the faces of these young masters from prestigious families? How will they establish themselves in the social elite in the future? It was difficult to finally catch a glimpse of life. Then someone started to comment. As soon as this person finished speaking, a young master chimed in. No wonder young Master Xia plays the guqin so well. He must not be skipping school, but dedicating himself to studying this, right? If young Master Xia doesn't attend school, he probably spends all his time playing the guqin. It would be unacceptable if he didn't play well. Even He Chaoxiong hasn't neglected his studies. Moreover, he graduated from a prestigious school, so there's really nothing to laugh at about him. If he doesn't balance his studies, and only practices the guqin, his skill might not be worse than someone else's. He Chaoxiong didn't expect the situation to turn around. The gloomy mood from earlier was instantly lifted. Clearly, there was a smile in his eyes and on his brows. Yet he still pretended to be humble and said, the university I attend isn't really a prestigious one. Mainly, the guqin takes up some of my time. It's truly difficult to balance both. When it comes to education, Ruan Xiaoye is the most impressive. He graduated from the world's top university, Pudding University. As he spoke, he turned to the cold-faced Ruan Xiuming, who had hardly said a word the entire time. What you said is true. Who can compare to Brother Chiu? Pudding University's admission difficulty is a 5S. I heard the graduation difficulty doubles. How many in Huagua can even attend? Moreover, this school does not accept connections. Even among the elites of our capital, historically, only Miss Xia, Miss Yun and Brother Chiu have made it into this school based on their own capabilities. That's right. Although the university you attended isn't as good as Brother Chiu's, it's still one of the well-known ones in the country. That's better than not having attended college at all, right? He Chao Xiong felt a wave of comfort listening to this. Ruan Xiuming, now drawn into the conversation, also stopped being silent. You all are not bad either. And college is just a part of a resume. Having had it, there are no regrets. Although he spoke humbly, his expression was quite stubborn. A young master chuckled and stepped back. Everyone present, except for those who were underage, has attended university, right? It seems only young Master Xia feels regret. The young masters present were taking turns speaking, mocking my academic background to the fullest. No one was even giving others a chance to speak. With every word they spoke, young Miaoyun and others' expressions grew increasingly unpleasant. Just as Xia Qingming's patience was about to reach its limit, almost resulting in a massacre, the butler rushed over again. Madam, Elder Tan is here. Mama Xia was so angry that she was about to lose her mind. When she heard this, she momentarily couldn't respond. Which Elder Tan? The butler was a bit puzzled but still explained. The one who was a professor at Puting University. Before the butler could finish his explanation, the people on site were already wide-eyed in shock. In the entire imperial capital, there is only one person who can be respectfully called Old Tan. Aside from that one person at Pu, who taught at the Imperial College, the current academic authority, Tan Yuesen. No one else could possibly. Ever since he retired, he has been living a secluded life. He is a person who never accepts any banquet invitations. How could he suddenly come here? Compared to the ones who still often appear in the public eye, Wen Songhe. How can Tan Yuesen be considered a recluse when he can attend a lavish banquet? This is something no one expected. After Yang Miaoyan came to her senses, she realized how foolish she had been. It's just that this person was also not invited by her. Moreover, even if she had extended an invitation, she wouldn't have been sure that she could invite this famous, renowned scholar either. The old gentleman, who is indifferent to fame and fortune, was invited over. Could it be again that? Yang Miaoyan looked at me in confusion. Suddenly felt like I had wasted over 40 years of my life. I couldn't even see through a child. The people present were unaware of the situation. Facing this heavyweight figure about to make an appearance, they started murmuring again. The Xia family truly lives up to its reputation. They even managed to invite someone like Old Master Tan. But the timing of this visit is quite rushed. Young Master Xia's education was just criticized. And now a big name from the academic world has arrived. Isn't this putting their son in a difficult position? Did you forget what Madame Xia just said? About transferring young Master Xia's academic registration. This clearly shows they don't know that young Master Xia dropped out long ago. Indeed, God is fair after all. A person excelling in one area might not even be as good as an average person in other areas. Listening to these murmurs, a group of young masters exchanged glances. Each of them had expressions of anticipation for the show to unfold. He Chaoxiong looked at Wan Xiuming, pondering something. Young Master Wan, isn't old Master Tan your mentor? The other young master clearly thought of this as well. I remember that this old man is a professor in the field of artificial intelligence. And the company founded by Brother Chiu is also an AI company. It's a perfect match for our fields. Speaking of Tan Yuesen, Wan Xiuming's expression became much more respectful. He was no longer that indifferent type from before. That's right. Old Master Tan is my mentor. I just didn't expect him to come. As he spoke, he turned to look in the direction of the Xia family. He raised the champagne in his hand. I haven't seen my mentor in a long time. I know he prefers peace and quiet. I shouldn't disturb him. This time, thanks to the Xia family's invitation, I finally had the chance to catch up with my mentor. I won't say much more in thanks. Let's toast young Master Xia here. As soon as he said this, young Miaoyun and the others' expressions darkened again. The other people present also exchanged glances. I wonder which part of me this refers to for Wan Xiuming. Yet he hurried to thank the people invited by the Xia family. His words revealed his familiarity with old Tan. This person seemed as if they were invited by him. Furthermore, just a moment ago, someone was mocking my education. They claimed that old Tan's arrival was untimely. Yet he took this opportunity to toast and thank me. This could be considered a provocation. Young Master Xia could still tolerate it. However, I did not react with rage and embarrassment as everyone imagined. In response to Wan Xiuming's provocation, I paid no attention at all, as if even making eye contact with him was a waste of time. Wan Xiuming did not get the reaction he wanted from my face. He slightly furrowed his brows. From the very beginning, he had noticed. I remained remarkably calm no matter what I faced. As if everything was under control. This quality of remaining unperturbed by fame or shame. No matter how much I try to learn, I cannot grasp the essence. Just because I can play the piano, I can ignore my other flaws. Wan Xiuming was utterly baffled. At that moment, the sound of a cane tapping on the ground was heard. Everyone turned their heads, and saw Tan Yu dressed in a tang suit. Sen walked over with one hand behind his back. Upon seeing Tan Yu, Wan Xiuming immediately forgot about me. He approached with a slightly excited expression. Teacher Tan, long time no see. Tan Yuesen paused in his steps. He again raised the hand behind his back to adjust his glasses. After fixing his gaze on Wan Xiuming's face for a moment, he asked in confusion. Have I seen you before? Wan Xiuming looked very embarrassed. Wu Shuman couldn't help but stifle a laugh. The other people present were stunned for a second, and then started laughing together. You really make me laugh to death. Is Master Tan really Wan Xiuming's mentor? Or is it true that Wan Xiuming graduated from Puding University? They wouldn't expel us, would they? How could a mentor not recognize their student? Listening to the shameless laughter of those around him, Wan Xiuming was struggling to maintain the smile on his face. He also wanted to know why Master Tan didn't recognize him. He graduated just a few years ago. Does one's memory really get that bad with age? He Chaoxiong timely intervened to clarify. Young Master Ji is indeed a graduate of Puding University. This is not questionable, because I have seen his graduation. Master Tan is probably getting old, and teaching so many students every year. It's normal not to remember. Wan Xiuming cast a grateful glance at him. Then he patiently explained to Tan Yuesen. Teacher Tan, I am your student, Wan Xiuming. You even supervised my graduation thesis. You forgot. Tan Yuesen still wore a look of confusion, but he clearly didn't want to continue arguing with him. I turned around to check the student roster. You step aside first. After saying that, he didn't wait for Wan Xiuming's reaction. He stepped around him and walked up to me. Then he suddenly performed a Sichuan opera face change. You brat. You don't even come to see your old man after graduation. You made me come all this way to see you. Do you have students like you? Although it was a bit of a reproachful remark, anyone could hear the affection in it. As soon as Tan Yuesen finished speaking, the venue once again fell into a strange silence. The anger on the faces of Mama Xia and the others had not yet faded. It turned into astonishment. Wan Xiuming's facade of calmness shattered again. His face was full of disbelief. The expressions of the wealthy young masters looked as if they had seen a ghost. After the shock, the others present. Suddenly there was an uproar. Young Master Xia is also a student of Old Master Tan. She also graduated from Pouty Inns. Oh my, is she really 19 years old? Now that I think about it, Wan Xiuming's gratitude is even funnier, isn't it? She invited her own mentor, but he has nothing to do with it at all. He Chaoxiong even said that Old Master Tan is getting old. It's normal not to remember students. How can he remember Master Xia when he is still old? The mocking and discussing voices at the scene were like a slap hitting Wan Xiuming's face, making him feel utterly ashamed. But how could I possibly be a graduate of Pao Yin's? How old am I even? Thinking this, he stepped forward to voice his doubts. Old Master Tan, have you mistaken the person? Young Master Xia is only 19 this year. How could he have graduated from college? Tan Yuesan chuckled. Graduated from college. Even Xiao Yan has a doctorate. As he spoke, he looked at Wan Xiuming with suspicion. You graduated from Pudding Institute. I didn't know Pudding Institute had a junior class. The people on site immediately gasped. Meanwhile, Wan Xiuming was dumbfounded. He certainly knew that Pudding Institute had a junior class. It is specifically for recruiting child prodigies from around the world. Everyone inside is a genius among geniuses. If the admission difficulty of Pudding Institute is very difficult, then the admission standard for the junior class is ultimate super challenging. It is said that since the establishment of Pudding Institute, only 2 Chinese students have ever entered the junior class. He was not surprised that Yun Mengyao was one of them. But this boy in front of him was unexpectedly the other one. What he could think of, others naturally could think of as well. That's why there was such a big reaction. No wonder young Master Xia graduated so early. This is a prodigy just like Miss Yun. Speaking of which, Miss Yun is also not yet 20 years old. How did it come up that she graduated from the University of Princeton? She had a look that suggested it was only natural. Hearing that young Master Xia graduated at 19, they thought she must not be in school anymore. You people have some serious double standards. I'm dying of laughter. An undergraduate showing off in front of a PhD student. But is he really from Princeton? I'm starting to doubt it again, ha ha ha. Wu Shuman turned to glance at Yun Mengyao. You know all this. That's why you've been so calm. Yun Mengyao touched her nose and nodded. Wu Shuman wanted to ask something else. Then Tan Yuesan rubbed his forehead. He looked at Wan Xiuming and said, I remember who you are now. Wan Xiuming's gloomy expression suddenly brightened with a hint of color. He didn't expect this situation of mine. But he also didn't want others to question his education. He was thinking just that. The next moment, we heard Tan Yuesan say, you are the one whose thesis was sent back 17 times. The one who took an extra year to graduate, right? This is the senior I told you about, Lu Yen. He completed his bachelor's to doctoral studies in 3 years. He kept pace with that girl named Yun. He didn't fall behind at all. As he continued, his tone became full of pride. The crowd in the banquet hall couldn't help but laugh. Oh my gosh, I can't anymore, ha ha ha. What kind of operation is it to have a thesis sent back 17 times? Even if it's tough, it shouldn't take forever to graduate from Pudi Ying's. No wonder Tan Lao only remembers young Master Xia. The thesis sent back 17 times. Delayed graduation by a year. If it were me, I wouldn't want to remember this student either. Why is all your attention focused on young Master Ji? Am I the only one who thinks young Master Xia is amazing? Finished his bachelor's, master's, and doctoral studies in 3 years. Plus, he has exceptional skills on the guqin. These are things I wouldn't even dare to think about. The sky was filled with mockery and gossip, threatening to drown Wan Xiuming. At this moment, he wished he could find a crack in the ground to hide in. Although he graduated a year late, he still received his diploma. Moreover, the difficulty level for graduating from Puting University is so high. He wasn't the only one who graduated late. Therefore, he never took this matter seriously. He was even proud of graduating from Puting University. But now this situation has made him a laughingstock. Wu Shuman turned to look at her daughter, Elle, again. She asked the question she hadn't been able to ask earlier. You met Xiao Yan while studying at Puting University, right? Yun Mengyao nodded. Wu Shuman continued to ask. You liked him back then, didn't you? Yun Mengyao glanced at me with a blushing face. Her eyes sparkled with a gentle smile. Not bad. Unlike the harmonious joy of the Qian and Yun families. Ever since my educational background was exposed, the expressions of the rich young masters have never been pleasant. But after being slapped in the face twice in a row, they have also quieted down a bit. Wan Xiuming looked even more wilted like a frostbitten eggplant. His whole demeanor was gloomy and heavy. While I was catching up with Tan Yuesan, He Chaoxiong stepped over to Wan Xiuming to comfort him. Young Master Wan, you don't have to feel this way. You don't rely on your family. You established frosted technology based on your own abilities. And you've carved out your own space in the field of artificial intelligence. It's something many people can only envy. Upon hearing this, the light in Wan Xiuming's eyes gradually brightened. He perked up and turned to look at me. Since young Master Xia has already graduated, where did you study before this? Xia Qingning and the others immediately frowned again. While Yun Mengyao and Xia Wanning were, they all looked at her the same way. Wan Xiuming was smugly at a loss for words. Suddenly, a warm and pleasant voice came from behind. Please make way. Wan Xiuming instinctively turned to the side. He was taken aback upon seeing the woman who spoke. Assistant Shen. What are you doing here? Shen Bingbing stopped in her tracks. She replied politely and courteously. I'm here to deliver something for my boss. Wan Qiuming had been holding on. Your potted plants have arrived. Your president is here. Where is he? He Chaoxiong asked in confusion from the side. Which company's president are you talking about? What makes you so happy? Of course, it's our leading company in the field of artificial intelligence. Wan Qiuming suddenly realized that Ayu's potted plants were here. There was an unconscious hint of calculation in her speech. I've always wanted to introduce Ayu's artificial intelligence technology. I've also scheduled many meetings. But Ayu's president is a very busy person. The box cannot find the time. I really didn't expect the other party to come to this banquet. As soon as he finished speaking, the people at the scene widened their eyes in surprise. They also began to look around. The one established in the Shenzhen stock market, AU, which covered most of the global sectors in just 3 years. That CEO is present. Speaking of which, this CEO is really mysterious. There isn't even a single photo of him online. Everyone has heard that Ayu's CEO is very young. Yang Miaoyun also looked outside in confusion. She knows AU, but it is located in the Shenzhen stock market. She doesn't know Ayu's CEO either, so she didn't invite the other party at all. But if her own son invited him, then why hasn't anyone come over? Shen Bingbing smiled and walked straight towards me. Lu Dai, the procedures on this side of the capital are almost done too. We just need your signature to transfer AU over. As soon as she finished speaking, the people at the scene were all stunned. Mama Xia turned her head stiffly. The look in her eyes was filled with disbelief. Xia Qingning reacted so strongly to her, but she also felt that her worldview had been overturned. She recalled her actions towards the. Suddenly, she awkwardly used her toes to conjure up a magical castle. No wonder her younger brother said he wasn't short on cash. At the time, she thought he was just being polite. The Wus, Mr. and Mrs. Schumann, turned to look at Yun Mengyao in unison. Their eyes seemed to say, "What kind of luck did you stumble upon, girl?" Without considering that their own daughter was also top-notch in everything. Xia Wanning had already known my identity through the staff, so she remained as calm as Yun Mengyao. Unlike the simple shock of the Yun and Xia families, the group of wealthy young masters present, the expressions on their faces were simply a sight to behold. Wan Qiuming seemed to be trapped in some terrifying nightmare. He was unconsciously retreating. He was even shaking his head and muttering, "How is this possible?" The others present came to their senses. They erupted once more. Did I not see this wrong? The A-class potted plant belongs to young Master Xiao. This is really young enough. Does this person really have to be like this? Are they leaving anyone else a way out? Ah! Wan Qiuming was nervously sweating in his palms. He was about to bite his lips until they bled. He finally understood what was on me. Where does this calm composure come from? What's laughable is, he still thought he could turn the situation around in his career. But instead, he fell into an embarrassing situation again. He completely lost the chance to collaborate with a class. Xia Qingning turned her head to glance at Zhang Ying, who was waiting beside her. She remembered everything. Zhang Ying nodded. Xia Qingning sneered as she looked at the young masters in the venue. Go ahead. She gave an order. Zhang Ying immediately took a group of people into action. Anyone who has talked back to me at the banquet was all dragged out. What are you doing? Let me go. Ah! Accompanied by a series of gasps. All the upper-class young masters who mocked me were thrown out. Xia Qingning clapped her hands. She smiled at the remaining crowd. Just cleaning up some trash. All right, the banquet continues. To dare to throw out most of the elite young masters at the banquet, and to insult them as trash. Only Xia Qingning could do that. However, the parents of these people didn't dare to voice any objections. They even anxiously wondered if they would be targeted by the Xia family in the future. Others were just relieved they hadn't said anything they shouldn't have. There is a lesson to be learned from previous mistakes. Moreover, there is nothing left for me to criticize now. No other young masters appeared throughout the rest of the banquet. When the banquet was ending and the guests were about to disperse, Su Lingyan stepped forward to stand in front of me. Can we talk? Yun Mengyao showed a hint of concern. Xia Wanqing shot her a glance. It was already merciful enough not to have kicked you out earlier. How dare you come closer? Xia Mama and the others looked at Xia Wanqing in confusion. Xia Wanqing did not respond to Xia Mama's gaze. Instead, she stared at Su Lingyan, urging her to leave. Why aren't you leaving yet? Su Lingyan did not move. Instead, she stubbornly looked at me. I have something to say to you. It's about the two of us. I interrupted her. Let's go. You only have 5 minutes. Yun Mengyao grabbed my wrist. I reassuringly held her hand in return, transmitting the warmth of the palm. Don't worry. Wait for me. Saying that, Liang and Su Lingyan went to a rockery together. I looked at Su Lingyan and asked straightforwardly, what do you want to say? Su Lingyan looked at me. You don't seem surprised at all that I would appear here. Have you been keeping an eye on my news? Me glanced at her watch. You have 4 minutes left. Su Lingyan slightly moved her chin. I'm starting to believe what you said about our past lives. I just don't understand. We once had such a deep relationship. Why do you suddenly hate me so much? I didn't answer her question. Instead, I crossed my arms and leaned against the rockery. You caused Su Minghui's trouble, didn't you? Su Lingyan narrowed her eyes slightly. Trying to get information from me. You hate me this much. Want to get rid of me? I shook my index finger. Did someone tell you? The best way to take revenge on someone isn't to end their life in one blow. But it means she will never obtain what she desires. Or gain something only to lose it completely. After all, the feeling of falling from heaven into the abyss is more devastating than never having touched heaven at all. Isn't that so? Su Lingyan's expression turned cold. Su Wuyan's expression. You want to use the Xia family's power against the Su family. I let out a cold laugh. You've known me for so long. Do I look like the kind of coward who relies on others for revenge? As soon as Su Lingyan heard my words, she instantly regained her previous composure. Although IU is a leading company in the industry, it has no overlap with the Su family's business. How will you take me down? Even if you want to acquire. IU's liquidity isn't enough to acquire the entire Su group, right? I smiled, as if mocking her naivety. Acquisition is just a way for you to liquidate your assets. Do you think I'm stupid? How can I deal with the Chia family? Just wait and see. 5 minutes are up. Take care, no need to see you off. After I said that, I no longer paid attention to Chia Lingyan's expression. I turned around and walked back. My steps felt much more hurried on the way back. And Yun Mengyao saw me coming towards her. She stepped forward immediately. I opened my arms and hugged her. I'm back. Yun Mengyao let out a soft in my arms. Xia Qingning's eyes were blazing with intensity. That guy heard. Get down, little brother. What do you want her to eat? Sliced or minced? Even second sister agrees. Two sister agrees with you too. After the time that just passed, Xia Qingning also heard from Xia Wanning. She asked about the grievances between me and Su Lingyan. Now she is in a state of rage. If she hadn't been stopped, she would have probably gone to find Su Lingyan to settle the score. I smiled and said to Xia Qingning, how can such trash soil my second sister's hands? I can handle it myself. A bloody glint flashed in Xia Qingning's eyes. Third sister is not joking with you. Don't underestimate her just because she has returned to the Su family now. It's still very easy for me to make her completely disappear. My tone also became serious. I'm not joking with third sister either. This is a grievance between her and me. I want to resolve it myself. However, it's not that I won't use the Xia family at all. Saying this, she turned to look at Xia Weining. Eldest sister. Doesn't the Xia family have an entertainment company? Xia Weining nodded. Yes, there is one. But that's because the third sister had a whim to make a movie. She opened it with friends. As a result, Xia Qingning smiled and took over the conversation. In the end, this guy stayed in the crew for 3 days. Complaining that there are mosquitoes in the deep mountains and forests. Took off running. By the way, Xiao Xiao is your third. Note, the word may need context for an accurate translation. Now out there doing photography. I didn't tell her I found you. Xia Weining shot a glare at Xia Qingning, who interrupted, and then said. Because Xiao Xiao gave up the path of becoming an artist. The Xia family hasn't really managed Xingcha. They just sent 2 managers to oversee things there. They say it's an entertainment company, but in reality, it's just a studio with a few artists. But why is my brother asking this? I thought to myself, no wonder so far. I saw 2 sisters. What I want to say is, eldest sister, could you hand over the management of Xingcha to me? Xia Weining looked at me and said, you mean to say? I nodded. That's right. For one person, the Su family's business is mainly an entertainment company. I want to use Xingcha to benchmark against Tianyu under the Su family. If eldest sister trusts me, you can hand over Xing Che to me. Give me a studio. Later, I'll return you the strongest star factory. Xia Wanning shot me a glance. What silly things are you saying? What do I have to worry about with you? It's just that you still have a you under you. And then run an entertainment company. Can your body handle it? Besides, you heard what I just said. Xing Che is almost like a shell now. And Tianyu almost occupies half of the entertainment industry. If Su Lingyan knows you took over Xing Che, she would definitely guess your intentions. At that time, she will inevitably try to trip you up. Sister doesn't doubt your abilities. It's just that you haven't been in the entertainment industry. The Su family occupies most of the resources in the entertainment industry. If they want to suppress you, Xing Che basically has no survival space. I smiled when I closed the door. Yu is already quite mature now. Moreover, Shen Bingbing can now handle things on her own. I will appoint her as the acting potting manager. Unless there are some important decisions, grade tasks will be handed over to her. As for managing the entertainment company, I know how to handle it. Don't worry, sister. I was mostly in charge of Tianyu in my previous life as well. When it comes to managing the entertainment industry, no one knows it better than me. Moreover, I know the internal affairs of Tianyu like the back of my hand. Even if the start is tough, taking down the opposition is just a matter of time. When Shen Bingbing heard this, she couldn't help but feel slightly flattered. But having learned from the last lesson, she also tried hard to maintain a calm demeanor. I can't let our president down. When I finished saying I would focus on managing the entertainment company, Yang Miaoyan sensed something was off. Xiaoyan, do you really only have these grievances with that kid from the Su family? It's just about being used emotionally. It shouldn't have come to the point of wanting to bankrupt the other party. Xia Qingning instantly became furious. It's only these. Just with these, I want to tear her apart. Even wishing for her to go bankrupt would be letting her off too easily, okay? I can't explain matters from past lives and this life anymore. I just smiled and said, perhaps I'm like my second sister. I tend to hold grudges, I suppose. Wu Shuman tapped Yun Menyao's head at that moment. Why are you so useless? I met Xiaoyan when we were in school, and still let others get the upper hand. Yun Mengyao didn't say anything, but my heart hurt. How can I blame her for this? Yun Mengyao is such a proud person, yet she has bowed her head countless times in front of me. It's just that in my past life, I was completely focused on Su Lingyan. I never gave her any response, that's all. Thinking of this, I raised my hand to hold Yun Menyao's hand. Looking at Wu Shuman, I said, Aunt, you're being too harsh. It was my lack of insight before. I let Menyao's feelings for me down. But it won't happen again in the future. Wu Shuman looked at Yun Mengyao with relief and said with a smile, look how much Xiaoyan protects you. Not even your own mother is allowed to speak. You need to treat Xiaoyan well from now on, understand? Yun Mengyao tightened her grip on my hand. No need for you guys to worry about this. Wu Shuman yawned. Alright, it's getting late. We also need to go back. Xiaoyan, do you want to go to the Yun family with Aunt? Xia Qingning warily pulled me over. No, thank you. Aunt Shu already said it's so late. Little brother needs to sleep too. Yun Mengyao held my hand reluctantly. She knew it was my first day back home. I should stay at the Xia family for the night. But since we've been together, we haven't been apart at night. Suddenly leaving her alone in an empty room. Still somewhat unwilling to face it. Xia Wanning looked at Yun Mengyao with gloating delight. The humiliation suffered in the deep city these past few days seemed to vanish in an instant. Did Miss Yun not hear? My little brother needs to sleep at 7. No matter how reluctant, Yun Mengyao could only let go. However, at that moment, I quickly leaned near her ear, and said something in a whisper. Yun Mengyao's eyes lit up momentarily before she lowered her gaze. Then, Aunt Xia, we're leaving. Our little actions disappeared in an instant, so those present hardly noticed. Mom Xia nodded with a smile. Shen Bingbing also took her leave. The next morning, after having breakfast, I drove alone to Xingcha Entertainment. After passing through the revolving glass door, I was about to go to the designated meeting room to hand over the task. I just bumped into someone hidden. After Chen Jing saw my handsome face, she was stunned on the spot. I was also quietly examining the girl in front of me. Chen Jing. I silently repeated this name in my heart. By calculating the time, the other party should still be at a third-tier position. But when I followed Su Lingyan to the capital in my past life, this person had already switched to Tianyu. It turns out before going to Tianyu, this person was Xing Che. I noticed her expression was a bit strange. I subconsciously asked, are you okay? Dong Jing reached out to touch her rapidly beating heart. I think I might be a little. I frowned. This person is looking for trouble. She was clearly walking just fine before. She was the one who bumped into me first. Thinking of this, I raised my hand and pulled Chen Jing's hand. I placed my fingertip on her wrist to check her pulse. Chen Jing stared blankly at her hand that was held by me. The spot that was touched felt like it was electrified, tingling. Before she could regain her senses, the warm sensation on her wrist had already faded. I looked at her and said, you're not seriously hurt. After saying that, I didn't check her reaction. I turned around and walked straight to the elevator. The manager, Ding Lu, came over. Weren't you supposed to go back to the car to get something? Why are you just standing there? What's wrong with your hand? Chen Jing held her hand, which I had checked, close to her heart. Sister Xia, I think I'm in love at first sight. On the other side, I arrived at the designated meeting room. As soon as I pushed open the door, I saw a man and a woman, calmly sitting on either side of the conference table. I had done some homework before coming. I knew one of them was named Su Feng, someone named Cha Min. They held the positions of director and manager, respectively, but neither of them were very old. When Su Feng and Kai Min saw me come in, they exchanged a glance. Hello, Lu Wei. I will fully cooperate and support Lu Pen's work. Clearly, the two had received prior notice. This is what Su Feng continued to say. Lu Dai. Xingcha currently has only one decent artist. But now he is leaving too. I glanced at the two of them. The person you mentioned is Chen Jing. Kai Min looked at me with confusion and asked. Lu Dai knows. I didn't answer her about this. I just frowned and fell into thought. I knew that Chen Jing would later switch to Tianyu. I just didn't expect it to be so soon. At this time, Su Tong spoke again. Yu Feng also spoke at this moment. We don't have the ability to keep him. Let Lu Dai try next. Although it's just a simple suggestion. But I could tell Su Feng wanted to test my ability through this matter. If I can't keep him. Although it won't change the fact that I'm taking over Xingche. But getting this person to completely submit to me is still not easy. Thinking this, I tapped my fingertips on the table a few times. You all bring his information over first. Then have him come see me alone. Kai Minpi picked up on Su Feng's implications. She stood up after hearing my instructions. Alright, Lu He. 10 minutes later, I had just turned to the last page of the documents. Long heard someone knock on the meeting room door. I said without even looking up, come in. Chen Jing wasn't very willing when she arrived. After all, she was about to leave Xingche. She had no interest at all in the new president or anything like that. One could guess they wanted to keep her. Moreover, with such a delay, she might miss that handsome guy who made her heart race. But upon hearing this voice, she immediately thought of that charming face. With a face full of questions, Chen Jing, with her heartbeat out of balance, slowly opened the meeting room door. The moment she saw me, Chen Jing seemed frozen, until I looked at her with confusion. Did she move her stiff legs to come in front of me? You are the new potted plant appointed by Xingche. I laughed and glanced at her chest. Are you doing okay now? In an instant, it brought me back to the first time we met. It seemed like she wanted to dissolve past grievances with a joke. Chen Jing, however, seemed to be struck again by Cupid's arrow. My heart raced as if it was about to leap out. I didn't know the turmoil inside Chen Jing's heart at that moment. I raised my hand to signal her to sit down. I said in a businesslike tone, people aim for higher positions, and your contract is up. The current development momentum is quite good. It's completely normal to want to switch jobs to a big company like Tianyu. But, I hadn't finished speaking when I was interrupted by Chen Jing. I'm not leaving. The words I wanted to say got caught in my throat. What? Chen Jing repeated. I said I'm not leaving. I want to continue with Xingche. I looked puzzled. Why? Do you understand that feeling? It's like having a belly full of drafts and various negotiation plans ready. In the end, it felt completely useless. So for the first time in my life, I got stuck at the negotiation table. Chen Jing didn't answer my question clearly. Instead, she asked me back a question. Does the president engage in unspoken rules with female artists? My expression instantly turned serious. You can rest assured about that. I guarantee it with my character. I absolutely won't engage in that kind of unspoken rules. He would never play those shady unspoken rules. Chen Jing gave a low, oh, in response. Who should I approach for the contract renewal? Purchase. Why do I feel a little strange? Is it an illusion? It seems like after saying that I wouldn't engage in unspoken rules, this person seems quite dejected. A not so good idea began to sprout in my mind. You still haven't answered my question. Why did you suddenly choose to stay? Chen Jing was afraid of scaring people away, so she made up a reason. Xingche was established for me and one of my close friends. Although Xinghua abandoned me, but after thinking it over, I still can't abandon Xingche. My lips twitched slightly. Your close friend is Xia Xiaoxiao. Chen Jing was stunned. Do you know her? I responded with a hum. I thought to myself, it's not just knowing her, she is my third wife. Chen Jing didn't think much of it either. A person who could be sent by the Xia family to take on the role of president. It's not surprising if they know someone from the Xia family. So, who should I look for? For the renewal, contact Director Su. In the corridor outside the conference room, Su Feng watched as Chen Ping went in, and came out in less than 3 minutes. My heart immediately sank. Kai Min also thought that this was mostly Huang Qi's doing. She also said to Su Feng, Lu Dai hasn't had any exposure to the entertainment industry. It's normal to fail right off the bat. Besides, neither of us could keep anyone. However, Su Tong's expression didn't improve at all. Ding Lu, waiting on the side, waved his hand. Jing Jing, Tianyu has already sent someone to pick you up. Who would have thought that in the next moment? Chen Jing walked up and stood in front of Su Feng. I want to renew my contract. Su Feng thought he had misheard. What did you say? After renewing the contract, Chen Jing returned to the lounge. She took out her phone to send a WeChat message to Xia Xiaoxiao. What are you doing? Reply. Just say something if you're alive. She sent several messages in a row. The other side didn't respond to her at all. Chen Jing didn't mind either. She bit the corner of the pillow, freeing her hands to type. Am I not going to Tianyu? I want to stay at Xingche. Not long after this message was sent, the other side called with a video call. Why suddenly want to stay? You don't need to think too much. I was the one who let you go. My sister doesn't value Xingcha anyway. She doesn't plan to expand into the entertainment industry. Why make money for her? Going to Tianyu definitely has its benefits. This is why Chen Jing isn't replying to her. The reason she isn't responding to her own messages. A good best friend might ignore you, but I will definitely consider things from your perspective. Chen Jing looked at Xia Xiaoxiao's face through the screen. She suddenly felt somewhat similar to me. I don't even know if I've lost my mind. Now everyone I see looks like me. I've developed a crush on a guy. He's the newly appointed CEO of Xingcha. I stayed for him. Xia Xiaoxiao called out. I have to get busy, see you later. After saying that, she hung up the phone. Tianyu CEO's office. After hearing what Su Lingyan's subordinate had to say, Su Zhe couldn't help but laugh uncontrollably. Lu Yan's so-called revenge is to use Xingcha Entertainment against Tianhao. This person must have had his brain kicked by a donkey. Isn't it like an egg hitting a rock when Xingcha goes against Tianyu? Moreover, Xingcha currently has only one decent artist, and he wants to jump ship to our Tianyu. Xingcha is just an empty shell. How can it compete with Tianyu, which occupies half the entertainment industry? Just as he finished speaking, the office door was knocked on. After receiving permission, the HR manager walked in trembling. Chen Jing wants to renew her contract with Xingji. Chen Jing wants to renew the contract with Xing Che. She's not coming to Tianyu anymore. If she doesn't come, it's whatever. Su Zhe said irritably. 3 lousy second-tier ones. She really thinks of herself as something special. As long as Tianyu lifts a finger, she still wants to mix in this circle. Su Lingyan's expression also turned cold. She manually brought up Chen Jing's recently announced schedule. Her fingers tapped lightly on the table 7 times. Call Kuzhen over. Not long after, a handsome male star walked in. You called me in vain. President Su, you called me. Su Lingyan looked up at him. I have a task for you. Make the director kick out Chen Ping. Kuzhen was taken aback but didn't ask further. Yes. Chen Jing still doesn't know she's being set up. After finishing the contract, they rushed to the outdoor variety show filming location. I was getting familiar with the company's rules and procedures, and making some changes along the way. However, before I could finish looking through them, Kai Min hurriedly walked in. Something happened on Lu Pen and Chen Jing's side. My fingers paused. What happened? Kai Min quickly spoke up. It's the outdoor variety show that Chen Jing was supposed to participate in today. But Chen Jing just arrived there today, and was told by the director that she didn't need to shoot anymore. In other words, she was kicked out of the show. My expression turned cold. I will go take a look. In a little while, we arrived at the scene. I got out of the car. There was Tilu over there arguing passionately with the director. Chen Jing was sitting under a temporarily set up outdoor sunshade, with her head down, seemingly lost in thought. As I walked forward, Chen Jing seemed to sense something and looked over. Then she froze, putting down the water bottle in her hand. She got up and walked over. Lu Dai, what brought you here? I glanced at the star guests present. I focused on Kuzhen, who was next to the director, for 2 seconds. What's the specific situation? Dong Jing grabbed her hair and said in an indifferent tone. It's nothing serious. The entertainment industry is just like this. It's about flattering those above and stepping on those below. I easily accepted the contract from Tianyu Entertainment. It's no surprise that I would face suppression. However, the production team is at fault first. Even if we can't record it, I can still get a compensation fee. It's not a loss. I looked at the girl who was comforting herself. I felt a bit uncomfortable inside. You wait here for a moment. I'll go for a bit. Jigging raised her hand and grabbed my wrist. No need. I glanced down. Chen Jing immediately let go as if she had been electrocuted. The director caught a glimpse of me walking over. A hint of astonishment crossed his eyes. Which company's artist are you? Kai Min, who was beside me, was taken aback. She turned her head to glance at her own CEO. At first, there was bias due to connections. Later, she was shocked by my presence and status. She didn't even notice. Our CEO can also rely on looks to get by. Kuzhen also noticed my appearance. Suddenly, he became wary. I looked at Wang with a cold expression. I am not an artist. I am the president of Xingcha Entertainment. I would like to ask, what has my artist done wrong? Are you going to breach the contract at the last minute? Upon hearing about my families, Chen Jing's ears slightly flushed. Although she knew I was just saying it casually, a hint of sweetness still arose in her heart. After Kuzhen heard me say I wasn't an artist, he felt a temporary sense of relief in his heart. Due to the disdain for Xingcha Entertainment, he also looked down upon my status as a newcomer. Under the director's pleading gaze, he stepped forward with his arms crossed. With a haughty tone, he said to me, you must be new to this industry, right? In the entertainment industry, some things don't require a reason. Just based on my current status, it would only take one word to kick out a second-tier star. It's just a matter of one sentence. I narrowed my eyes slightly. You don't seem to be afraid at all of others recording you. You dare to speak so boldly in public. There are only two possibilities. Either you're too foolish, or you have a strong backing. If it's the former, you wouldn't even reach this status and would be done for. Kujin looked like he had heard a joke. His assistant beside him was also laughing indiscriminately. Didn't you ask about this before you came? Our Xinjia's backing is quite something. It's the third sister of the Xia family from the capital, Xia Qingming. She is also the leader of the Xia sect. You've heard of the Xia sect, right? Do you dare to provoke the boyfriend of the leader of the Xia sect? Are you tired of living? I was a bit speechless. I could guess that the other party definitely has backing. But I never expected that. That person would be my second sister. This person doesn't know I'm the young master of the Xia family, so it's fine. Don't you know that Xincha Entertainment is under the Xia Corporation? Okay. Xincha Entertainment is at the bottom among entertainment companies. It seems that really not many people can connect it to the vast Xia Empire. I only learned about it when Xingcang closed in my past life. Kai Min was also speechless. But when I speak up, she temporarily holds her ground. Asian saw that I wasn't speaking. He thought I was scared. His attitude became even more arrogant. So you were recording just now. Saying this, he gestured to his assistant beside him. Search him for me. Kai Min no longer sat idle. I was about to reveal my identity. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Xia Qingming coming over with a group of people.